jeans on.
Good mornings make for better days.
I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on.
Wrangler, for the ride of life.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Hey folks, Arthur Seed, managing partner at University Kia, letting you know we are proud supporters of Alabama and Auburn football. Swing by University Kia today and check out our huge selections of brand new Kias, including the spacious Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the slick new K5, the sporty Kia Seltos. We've got perfect cars for every lifestyle and budget. Visit universitykia.com to view all our amazing offers and get pre-approved amenities, because we want to see you in a Kia. Roll Tide, War Eagle.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Hey golfers, Huntsville has a new place to play golf. The newest, nicest, and only multi-location indoor golf venue in Huntsville is The Golfus. For a limited time, you can grab an unlimited membership for just $99 a month. That's right, play every day for just $99 a month. Check it out. All the details are on thegolfus.com. That's The Golfus. 2 locations in Huntsville and coming soon to Madison.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
This hour of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by Talent Heating and Air. When you need service, rely on Talent. From system installations to tune-ups, rely on Talent. Online at talenthvac.com.
AL cert number 21014.
Welcome into the hottest and coolest game show around called The Freeze. Today's contestant, Bob. Bob, can you tell me the heating and air business that provides free service with repair?
Is it Talent Heating and Air Conditioning?
Can you tell me which heating and air business provides free second opinions?
Talent Heating and Air Conditioning.
You are our grand prize winner. You have won a visit from the #1 heating and air business in the Tennessee Valley.
Talent Heating and Air Conditioning?
That's right. Talent Heating and Air is coming to you.
This is Thomas with Talent Heating and Air Conditioning, and you don't have to win a game show to use us. We have free second opinions year-round, and we're doing free service calls with a repair. So just remember, call Talent Heating and Air Conditioning at 256-503-4490 or visit us on our website at talenthvac.com.
Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And just like that, we're off, we're running, we're back, and we are live. Coming to you from the Bill Penney Toyota Service Department. They're committed to providing the care and expert service that their guests come to trust. Toyota trained technicians have spent thousands of hours understanding each and every Toyota vehicle, and they only use genuine Toyota parts to service and repair your vehicle Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and then on Saturday, 7 to 5, their doors just rolled open right as our show kicks off. Big thank you to Talent Heating and Air as well, talenthvac.com, 256-503-4490. They're live, they're local. Give Thomas, Terry, Jeremy a call today, 256-503-4490, talenthvac.com. A lot of stuff to get through here on a Monday. A lot of college basketball to talk about. Throw in some football conversation. Your phone calls, 256-576-4977. You can call it the good, the bad, the ugly from the Final Four. We'll get to that here in just a minute. But last night, over our airways of 97.7 ESPN The Zone, we had the NIT Championship. Auburn taking on Tulsa. And here's how it sounded courtesy of the Auburn Sports Network.
It's Riley. He drives to the basket. He puts it up. He didn't get it. Rebound Freeman out of there across midcourt. Your Auburn Tigers are going to win the NIT. Auburn wins the NIT championship. The Tigers come from behind late, forces overtime, and wins tonight in Indianapolis. Auburn 92, Tulsa 86. War Eagle.
Andy Bertram on the call there, courtesy of the Auburn Sports Network. And Auburn does indeed bring home the NIT championship last night. They built a lead, lost a lead, rallied in the final seconds. The game goes to overtime. Auburn does get the win, 92-86. Kevin Overton hits a game-tying three-pointer with 8 seconds left in regulation to send the game to overtime, where Overton would hit a 40-footer to lead Auburn to a 92-86 victory. Auburn played in the NIT Finals for the very first time, and as we mentioned, they built the lead, lost it, rallied, and then thanks to Kevin Overton, they were able to get it done. Keyshawn Hall, Philip Jovic, they fouled out in the game. Sebastian Williams-Adams with 3:31, hit a couple free throws to put him up. But Auburn does overcome a lot of stuff to get a win last night in the NIT Finals. They were the only SEC team to play in the NIT. A lot of people questioned whether or not they should be playing in the NIT. Not should, but accept a bid to play in the NIT, whether or not they should have accepted the bid altogether. After the game, Stephen Pearl.
Lesser character kids, lesser character young men, would have folded it up and, just got into the offseason. And this group didn't. They used this as an opportunity to compete. They used this as an opportunity to gain some positive momentum going into an offseason, an important offseason for all of us. And I'm incredibly grateful as their coach. They were put in a really difficult situation. Coach ultimately retiring, and these guys all decided to stay. And then we don't make the tournament, and they all could have packed it in, and they didn't. And it's just, for me, I'm just thankful that they're getting some reward for all the effort that they put into this season. They stayed consistent, they stayed right, and we had a really good basketball team, and I feel like we showed that over these last 5 games. So Tulsa's a really good basketball team. They obviously made a tremendous run. This game was kind of a microcosm of our season. Played really well. Let them back into it, went through a tough stretch, and we stayed resilient. We didn't give up, and push that thing to overtime and play overtime with 5 guards. Because we have no size and everyone was fouled out. And, they pushed through and they found a way. So I'm really proud and grateful for.
Stephen Pearl on Auburn capping off the season with a overtime win in the NIT championship.
Good win for Auburn, no doubt about it. The Duke Blue Devils, Tulsa Hurricane. Duke Blue Devils, Tulsa Hurricane choked it away at the end. Auburn was very fortunate to get it to overtime. I was actually stunned that they blew the 21-point lead and looked like they were about to lose the game. But, Kevin Overton was their best player throughout the run, and he saved their ass, just basically. Because Todd Pettiford played well in the first half, did not play very well in the second half in overtime. And Overton continued his consistency. I think he shot 56% for the 5-game run from the 3-point line. And you could just sort of tell when Tulsa stupidly had 2 timeouts and decided not to use either one of them to get the ball in bounds. And that's, really good defense by Auburn, first of all, just like when Connecticut forced Duke to choke. You got to guard them, and that's what Auburn did, and they forced the 5-second call. And then they got the ball smartly to Kevin Overton, and then Tulsa made their second bonehead move, which if they had fouled immediately, Auburn would have shot 2 free throws, and they would have had to probably miss the second and try to get a rebound and get an offensive board, or either if they make them both, just foul again and hope Tulsa missed. But they got it to Overton. They allowed Overton to shoot the 3, and he drilled it. And then they got to overtime, and then once they got to overtime, I felt like Auburn had the advantage, even though Jovic had fouled out and Keyshawn Hall had fouled out, and they didn't have a lot of size. But I felt like they still had Kevin Overton, and they still had, and Tahad Pettiford. He made a couple plays in the overtime as well. So it was a good win, 92-86 for Auburn to go out and get 5 straight W's, and that Tulsa team was good. They had to be, because Auburn played about as well as I've seen them play in a long time, even though they crushed Illinois State. But that first half yesterday was outstanding, and they built the 16-point lead, and then really they maintained it for the first 4 to 5 minutes of the second half. I really thought it was going to be a blowout. They were still up 16 to 18 points, and then all of a sudden Tulsa finally started making threes, and Auburn, had some moments, some bad possessions, took some bad shots. Pettiford got sloppy with the ball, and, Tulsa had 30 wins, so they proved why they're a good team, and they came back and made a game out of it. And they hit a 3 from the corner and was up 5 with a minute to go. But, again, credit to Auburn for their resiliency, because there was a couple of huge offensive rebounds Auburn got where they missed threes, got offensive rebounds, made them pay. Got buckets out of them. One of them was a long 3 from Pettiford that cut it to 2, and they were just able to keep chopping wood and get it to overtime. And once they did, Auburn was able to ease away from Tulsa and win the game. Give them tons of credit, like Stephen Pearl said, for not letting go of the rope and continuing to play and overcoming the quitting of Keyshawn Never Get Paid Again Murphy.
Yeah, and then – he talked about the whole season itself, a microcosm of the whole season.
It was. I was nodding my head. I really thought that last night. It really was. It was like their whole year in a nutshell.
Because if they don't fold down the stretch of the regular season, they're not even playing in the NIT. They're playing in the NCAA tournament.
Well, the way I looked at it, the first half was like they played Florida. That was their brightest moment of the season. They blew them out. Didn't just beat them. They blew them out in Gainesville. So you're thinking, wow. That's the Auburn that I saw winning Gainesville, which was their best win of the year. Or you could also say blowing out Arkansas in Neville Arena. But then the second half looked like Alabama in Tuscaloosa, where they didn't guard a lamp post. They turned it over 50 times and just dug a hole, and this time they blew a lead. But then you look at it, and in the overtime, they find a way to get it to overtime and ease away. And to me, that's kind of like what they did, to down the stretch to get themselves in position to get into the postseason, because I know it was a little bit frustrating to them, but I kind of felt like, okay, that was the Auburn that showed some grit and some toughness.
Yes.
And they have done that a couple times during the year, like when they won at St. John. So it really was like a microcosm of their year, man. But they found a way to win. You won your last 5 games. I thought, and I said it, you don't play it on paper, but when you looked at how that NIT field kind of opened up, that Auburn was the best team left, and they were, and they got it done. And so now they get a chance to take some momentum into the offseason and start building their roster, because the portal opens tomorrow. The women's portal opening today after UCLA treated South Carolina like a speed bump.
Well, I tell you what, let's get a break in. When we come back, we'll talk about that, because the vaunted Big Ten can do something tonight that I don't think no conference has been able to do in quite some time. We'll fill you in on that. We'll start setting the table for the fun national championship game. A lot of stuff to get through. We've only just begun. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Now is the time to sign up for the Eagle Installation WZZN Charity Golf Tournament to benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation. This year's event is the morning of April 20th at Cherokee Ridge, and each member of the winning team not only gets the championship belts, but a full-year membership to Cherokee Ridge. Breakfast and lunch are provided, plus tremendous prizes and a chance to win $100,000. Cost is $800 a team or $200 per individual, and corporate sponsorships are available. Send an email to 977WZZNevents@gmail.com to reserve your spot today. Tom Abraham here for my friends at All About Water. Crazy name, huh? Well, let me introduce you to them. All About Water is the top pond builder anywhere in the Tennessee Valley, and that includes remodeling or cleaning out existing ponds as well. They also have monthly maintenance plans for your pond. Don't have a pond? Well, how about a fountain or water feature for your property to bring that soothing sound of running water to your happy place? On the other hand, maybe you have water on your property that you don't want. Well, Ryan at All About Water is all about water, so he could take care of that as well. He has a background in fluid dynamics, and what that means is that he could take care of any water issue that you have. Finally, how about that irrigation system that you have or that you want? Well, they do installs and maintenance and repairs on those as well, because they are all about water. Learn more at allaboutwaterllc.com. That's allaboutwaterllc.com.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Now, Jimmy, you better not be eating that baseball again.
But Dad, I yearn for the sweet taste of the sport. This is the best that I got.
Well, then, put down that ball and let's head over to the yard for something a little less rubber-y.
Don't eat your glove this season. Take advantage of our Big Zone deals and head on over to the Yard Milkshake Barn right outside of Toyota Field, where you'll find sweet treats like the Biscoff Cheesecake, Sweet Heat Mango, Shirley Temple Floats, and so many more. It's the Yard Milkshake Barn. Make this summer a home run hit.
You've been paying on that life insurance policy for years, but maybe you don't really need it anymore, or it's gotten a bit too expensive. Well, before you just let it expire, let Neighbors Insurance Solutions share with you some alternatives that you haven't considered. Don't throw away something that still may have great value for you. If you want to learn more about what Neighbors Insurance Solutions can do for you, call 256-763-7693. A death benefit could be a life benefit. Learn more at 256-763-7693. Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Welcome back, Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond on a Monday morning, live from Bill Penney Toyota Service Department. A lot of stuff to get through here today. Last night, we crowned a women's national basketball champion. And the UCLA Bruins, who, by the way, spent $7 million to put their team together this past year, knocks off South Carolina, who lost $6 million as a team this past season to win the national championship, giving the Big Ten 2 out of the Big 3 now. They got the football national championship. They've got the women's basketball national championship. South Carolina, by the way, becomes the first team in college basketball history to lose by more than 20 points in consecutive national championship games as the Bruins take care of the Gamecocks for that win there on the women's side. Wasn't even close. South Carolina was favored in this ball game, but a 79-51 UCLA win. They win Corey Close's first national championship there. UCLA women's basketball program history.
It was even the first national championship game they'd ever made it to.
Yeah, so congratulations, I guess, to UCLA. Yeah. They have 5 players, UCLA does, that be potential first-round picks in this year's WNBA draft.
I think their top 6 players are all seniors.
And their top 6 players scored all of their points in the Final Four and national championship game. They did not have anybody but a senior score in their Final Four and national championship games. 6 players scored, and 6 players all seniors.
And they only lost 1 game all year. It was to Texas, and they got their revenge in the semifinals, beating them on Friday night. And so pretty much, I mean, it wasn't a perfect season, but it was as close as it could have been for UCLA. And there's no better way to end it. And I mean, you play your best game against the supposed number 1 team in the country, even though that was Gino Auriemma, who, by the way, gets a horse ass award for the way he acted at the end of – and look, man, the whole reason he reacted that way, don't give me this bull crap that she didn't come out and shake his hand the second time before the game. He was mad because he got his ass beat.
I mean,
and he didn't just get it beat, he got blown out too, okay? And they were 38-0, and he was trying to go undefeated again. He was trying to win back-to-back championships. I mean, he's been to 25 Final Fours, Scott. I mean, he's one of the 2 greatest coaches to ever live. He'll never be the greatest. Don't care what he says. Don't care how many titles he wins. The greatest set the table for him. That was Pat Summitt.
Yeah.
And she got robbed of her last 10 years of her coach career. She could have won some more, too.
He and Pat Summitt had, that they had a little bit of history back in the day as well.
Shocker, because he's a Yankee asshole. That's why. But anyway, But anyway, like I said, he totally acted classless after the game, and he claimed that she was getting away with saying some things to officials that he couldn't get away with, and he had shown his rear end at the end of the third quarter by dropping F-bombs and everything like that on the air. So
did the interview, the 6 fouls,
and it was still a game at that point.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, but. As the game unfolded, and you saw it, I mean, methodically, South Carolina put it away. I mean, he just acted like a turd. Now, he finally realized the next, morning that he needed to apologize for it. He didn't apologize for it after the game. It took his former player, Rebecca Lobo, saying it's the first time I've seen, UConn not lose with class. And so, I
don't know about that.
Like I said, I just dropped the CL. but that's basically what he is. But again, I just thought it was Bush League because I had people ask me, "What'd you think of that?" I was like, "Well, it was Bush League." But I mean, and Gino's a great coach, but Don Staley didn't do anything wrong, I didn't think. And some don't like South Carolina, but a lot of times people hate winners. But South Carolina's taken it on the chin 2 years in a row after winning the title, a couple years ago. So in 24. So they're going to have to, pick it back up and see if they can win one for the SEC next year. But this was all about UCLA and the way they played. I mean, you can't play any better when you got a group like that's been together that's kind of elevated their program.
Yeah.
When you play your last game, that's you can't write a better book than that.
No. So we mentioned the Big Ten won the football national title because they are the supreme leaders in all of college sports. They win the women's basketball title, and tonight the Big Ten will try to cap off another national championship, and that will be the men's national championship game as Michigan will take on UConn. The UConn Huskies, 34-5. They are 13-1. And 8 trips to the Final Four.
That's crazy.
They have won
record,
5 national championships in 7 trips to the Sweet 16 since 2004. This one obviously will match up UConn's postseason success against the Wolverines, who have just been dominant, to say the least. Their 18.1 point average of margin of victory leads all power conference teams. I mean, I don't know what more you can say about Michigan. Now, Yaxel Lendenborg, he is not on the injury report. They did have to put one out for the national title game. His name is not on there. He's what they call a bone bruise. He is good. The biggest question, though, is surrounding UConn and their guy there.
Solo ball.
Yeah, he was in a boot yesterday.
He
did not
sprained his
practice.
foot.
Yeah, but his name is not on there as well. His name is not on the report.
Look,
I mean, you don't put him on. I mean, at this point, yes, but
they're both going to play. We'll see how effective they are. And Michigan played at such a high level. I wasn't surprised they won. I thought it was going to be a very, very good game with Arizona.
I did too. Yeah.
I was thinking, it might be one of the all-time, semifinals, but it wasn't. Michigan took control of it. Really, they led 20-5, I think it was, and it was pretty much over.
It was. It was over early. I mean, 5 minutes into this one,
boom,
Arizona could not hit a shot and could not get to the rim.
I think the closest they got in the first half was 28-23.
Yeah.
But then Michigan went on another run before the end of the half, and pretty much the game was over, man. I mean, they've done a great job the whole tournament of coming out that first 5 minutes of the second half, hitting you with a haymaker, and then pretty much it's already – and Yaxel, we all know he got hurt in the first half, and they were winning the basketball game, but then they went on the big run without him, and then he came back out in the second half, played a few minutes, because Cadeau got in a little bit of foul trouble, and still was effective. I mean, he wasn't himself. You could tell, but he still made 3 threes, and he scored 11 points. It's not like he played poorly. He did what he could do, and then they rested him. And really, I think they brought him back for one more rotation, but they really didn't need him because they had played at such a high level, and that's the strength of their team. They have such a powerful lineup, and then their bench is playing really well, that Yax is their best player. We all know that.
Yes.
But, Mara was probably the MVP on Saturday. He was unreal, and he's a former UCLA Bruin himself. But they'll probably need Yax tonight, but he'll be able to play, I would say, at least 20 minutes of the game. They'll probably have to monitor him, just like they'll have to monitor Solo Ball, but UConn's going to have to play their best game of the year to have a shot in this deal. And, I mean, that record you just mentioned, though, in the Final Four is pretty freaking amazing.
Well, Dan Hurley, this is his 8th season with the Huskies, okay? He's 5-0 in the Final Four, 18-3 in the NCAA tournament is Dan Hurley. Now, the other side is when they went – I mean, if they don't get there, they don't play. And I mean, obviously, they've had a couple seasons where it hasn't been great for them.
Yeah.
But a win Monday for the 53-year-old would deliver a third national championship and put him even with Roy Williams, Bob Knight, and Jim Calhoun. Behind only John Wooden with 10, Mike Krzyzewski with 5, and Adolph Rupp with 4. Dusty May, by the way, is looking to get Michigan their first national championship since 1989. Remember, we talked about that.
And Michigan's got an interesting history, too, because they've been in a bunch of finals.
Yes.
That they just, like John Beeline went to 2, and then the Fab Five went to 2. And in the Fab Five, that was pretty cool. They were there doing a webcast. So
it's the first time they've all been together, right? I think that's what they said.
Well, I think so, because I've seen, like, we know Jawan coached there for a while, a few years, and then, of course, I still think Jalen Rose has been the most front and center alum, but of course he's been in the media business. And then Chris Webber, he's come back he's doing media now too, and he was kind of for a while the most estranged because of the Ed Martin thing, but now he's come back. And then I'll be honest, when I saw them together and they took that picture or whatever on social media,
right,
I recognized Jimmy King. I did not recognize Ray Jackson. I hadn't seen Ray in a long time, probably since he played with that group. And I was like, wow, that's Ray Jackson now. So I hadn't seen him. But it was cool that they were doing that. And I'm sure they'll be doing it tonight, man, win or lose. So it's really cool that they're kind of along for the ride.
In basketball, by the way, since Michigan State has won the Big Ten, that's the last national championship. Yeah, the Big Ten is 0-8 in championship games. Yeah, they've had opportunities. They're 0-8
Michigan's
now.
had at least half of them.
Yeah, and tonight, though, there's a lot of people that believe that tonight is the night. All right, real fast, let's get Wolverine Dan in here real fast. Good morning, sir.
Oh, how about my Michigan Wolverine?
Yeah. Tonight's the night. They can end a long drought for the Big Ten.
Shut up, baby! You're gonna shut them down. Come on, you saw what you saw. You see how they're beating people? They pounded. Alabama's the only one they gave us a game, only for a half, and then we beat the snot out of you at the second half.
Yeah, good for you.
Well, I tell you,
I
mean,
know,
look.
I know you don't like that.
Look, I think UConn. Look, I mean, Michigan's playing. Obviously, Michigan's playing at a high level. They may go down as one of the best teams to ever win.
If they complete this, it'll be like the UConn team 2 years ago. They beat everybody down.
I mean, they're going down as one of the greatest. But I tell you, for some reason, Dan Hurley has a way of getting teams to play their best. I don't know if they have enough to give Michigan a test, but man,
Here's the formula. Purdue, our point guard, has to just keep driving to the net, dishing it off, or even trying to make a shot. Maybe doesn't make it, but he's got to drive to the net that leaves the perimeter open for our shot. We got our production off the bench, which is there. We've got a lot of guys that can shoot the rock. Okay, there's no doubt about it. And if we play with that intensity, and Amara has his game, and our bigs have their game, and I don't see it. I just don't see it. If I was Dusty May, I would just like he coach the whole game until the last second of the don't. If we're up by quite a bit, put the foot on the gas. Don't stop. I mean, this team, if it just plays, it's the way it plays as far as pressure defensively. Also, they're strong defensively. This team is just well-rounded. They got everything, okay? I just don't see it. And you know what, fellas? And again, tomorrow, if it does happen, which I hope it does, the only complaint, it's a late game, which is ridiculous. But if we end up fortunate to win this thing, tomorrow, guys, it'll be natty danny again, okay?
There you go. Well, yep, if you can complete it. Got to complete it.
Okay, all right. Talk to you later.
All right, thanks. All right. Well, by the way,
I hope they get their ass beat. By the way, I know Dan will hear this, but if they choke, you better hide. That's all I'm going to say. Some and all this bull crap.
How about this?
Sick of Michigan.
How about this? UConn and Michigan have never faced each other in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, well,
never have faced.
And
each
by the
other.
way, I think Michigan's going to win. So I'm not.
I do.
I'm at least.
Yeah.
It's
hard to argue.
I hate Michigan. And I used to like them when I was a kid, and I did like the Fab Five, but I haven't liked Michigan for a long time because I think they're a bunch of cheating. You know, they probably taped UConn's shoot around.
It's hard to argue against Michigan at this point.
No, it is.
What they've done.
Look. I thought the whole year, I thought the three best teams in the country were Michigan, Arizona, Michigan, and Duke.
Yeah.
And then I remember Dan talking like this when he thought they were going to rip Duke in Washington. We all saw what happened on that. That was the last time they lost. Well, I take that back. And then they didn't even win the Big Ten tournament. They fell flat against Purdue. Because they'd only lost one game going into the Duke game.
Right.
And he thought they were going to rip Duke apart, and he was doing the same thing he's doing now, and then they fell flat. Now, again, I knew Duke. I thought Duke had a good shot in that game, and they won it. But by the end of the year, Duke wasn't playing as well. And you could see it, even though they won the ACC tournament and everything. You could just see when they played Siena, they weren't playing good. I mean, I thought there was a chance they might even lose that game because they played poorly. They pulled away late. And they played a good second half in the round of 32, and then they had to pull away. St. John's was good, though, but they had to pull away and beat them. And then they were drilling UConn, but we all saw how it ended. They couldn't finish the game. And, the 3 games Duke lost before the UConn game, in the Garden against Texas Tech, same thing, had a big lead, couldn't finish. Again, at Chapel Hill, big lead, couldn't finish. They led for almost wire to wire and had a double-digit lead and couldn't finish it. So pretty much every game, the way Duke played, they couldn't fit. They had trouble finishing, and then they almost blew the Michigan game. They didn't have a huge lead in that game, but they led it. But they did finish that one. And I take that back. Duke had 3 losses. Their third loss was, of course, the end of the season against Connecticut. So they could not finish that game. So it was just a habit that they had trouble finishing. But again, I thought by the NCAA tournament, and it's a marathon, not a sprint. I thought the 2 best teams was Arizona and Michigan. And I thought that was going to be your de facto national championship game. And I really thought it would come down to the last 2 minutes and basically come down to the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And Michigan knocked them out. So unless UConn can make shots, and look, man, this has happened before. I would say in 1985, and I think it was played in Rupp Arena.
Yes.
They had already beaten Villanova twice. I would say Georgetown was as definitive a favorite as Michigan is right now. And don't forget, Villanova, I think it's still a record, Scott. They were an 8 seed. They're the lowest seed to ever win it.
Yes, they are.
And they played as close to a perfect game as you can play. They shot 79% from the field and beat Georgetown. And after losing to them twice in the regular season. So it's not out of the question. You just mentioned Dan Hurley's pedigree and the way they win, and nobody had them beating Duke. And then a lot of people, I thought they'd beat Illinois. I didn't think Illinois was great.
All right, we got to get a break in. When we come back, Scott Stapler's on the other side.
That's right.
We got to talk to him. Maybe put his coaching hat on, and how would he defend Michigan tonight if he was drawing it up as Dan Hurley has to do.
They're as definitive favorite as UConn was 2 years ago.
Yep. All right, let's get him in next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Fox 54 Weather Impact meteorologist Emily Owen. Expect to see mostly sunshine for this Monday across the Tennessee Valley. High temperatures will be warming into the upper 60s for the afternoon, potentially seeing wind gusts as high as 15 miles per hour. Heading into Monday night, expect to see a partly cloudy sky. Temperatures fall into the upper 40s for the overnight.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com. The End Zone Sports Bar has done it again. This time, they're bringing their jumbo wings, handcrafted burgers, Tex-Mex, and New York-style pizza to the Midtown District with their new location on McMurtry Drive Northwest opposite the Target Plaza. Tuesdays at the End Zone means half-price burgers, and Wednesday is $1 jumbo wings all day long. The End Zone also features Sunday ticket for all your NFL viewing. The newest End Zone Sports Bar in the Midtown District on McMurtry near the Target Plaza. Get in the End Zone. Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
In the market for a new or used car? Look no further than Hyundai of Decatur. With a large inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned Hyundai models, Greenway Hyundai of Decatur is here to service all of your Hyundai needs. Come visit our exceptional service department as well. With state-of-the-art facilities and a caring team of automotive professionals waiting to service your vehicle, make Hyundai of Decatur your #1 choice for all your automotive needs. Give them a call today at 256-274-0279 or visit them online at greenwayhyundaiofdecatur.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at All About Water. Crazy name, huh? Well, let me introduce you to them. All About Water is the top pond builder anywhere in the Tennessee Valley, and that includes remodeling or cleaning out existing ponds as well. They also have monthly maintenance plans for your pond. Don't have a pond? Well, how about a fountain or water feature for your property to bring that soothing sound of running water to your happy place? On the other hand, maybe you have water on your property that you don't want. Well, Ryan at All About Water is all about water, so he could take care of that as well. He has a background in fluid dynamics, and what that means is that he could take care of any water issue that you have. Finally, how about that irrigation system that you have or that you want? Well, they do installs and maintenance and repairs on those as well because they are all about water. Learn more at allaboutwaterllc.com. That's allaboutwaterllc.com.
Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back in. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Tonight we will crown a national champion in men's basketball. They're in Indianapolis, Michigan, or UConn. Someone will bring home a national championship game. And tonight on the hardwood, the Michigan Wolverines are a 6.5-point favorite over the UConn Huskies. And I don't know. How do you slow down Michigan if you are a coach? How does Dan Hurley slow them down?
We'll see, but we're going to talk about that and more with our next guest. He came on and we kind of previewed the NCAA tournament, and now we've got a final that's a couple of blue bloods right now anyway. Michigan may not be considered a complete blue blood, but they've been to, I guess this is their 9th final, and they certainly have a great history. And UConn since 99 has a tremendous history. Scott's already been over their success historically in the Final Four when they get there. But we're going to talk about that matchup and just his impressions of the NCAA tournament with our good friend Scott Stapler, who, of course, is our former city athletics coordinator, working for the Huntsville Park and Recreation now for our city, and, of course, with his dad, Ronnie, big-time basketball royalty in our city, and he's joining us to talk some Final Four right now. Coach, good morning.
Morning, Drew. Good morning, Scott. Hope you guys had a good Easter.
Yeah, I hope you. Yeah, I hope you guys had a blessed Easter as well, Coach. It was some great weather yesterday, some great time to be with family and eat some good food. And, of course, give thanks for everything. And of course, it's been an interesting tournament and weekend of basketball. I mean, I kind of like what they're doing now, kind of making the host of the Final Four the epicenter of everything, even including the NIT. We saw Auburn get it done last night in a great game. We can only hope that the NCAA final is that good a game. I certainly thought Arizona-Michigan was going to be a great game, Coach, but, man, the Wolverines are playing on another level right now.
Man, I agree. I mean, I going back to what you said, I think it's great having everything there in Indy. Of course, the Division II and Division III championships were there as well.
That's right.
And that is kind of neat to have it all there. If you're a basketball fan, you go to Indy this weekend, and you got something every night. But yeah, I'm with you. I thought I was really looking forward to that Michigan game in the semis, and man, it just fell flat. I didn't think they could do Arizona like they did that, because Arizona's playing so well too. Right. But Michigan is just they're on a roll. They're just pounding people, and if I'm not mistaken, they've won every tournament game by 20 plus.
Yeah.
And they're playing really, really well. They're going to be they'll be hard to beat tonight.
They will.
From a basketball perspective, Scott, what makes Michigan so good? What do they do so well that makes it so hard to face them?
I think that they, it seems like kind of the buzzword now lately is positional size, but yes. they're huge. They're a huge team, but they're also very skilled, and they're extremely well coached. They just seem like they've been able to impose their will on teams on the interior and just dominate games, scoring in the paint, rebounding, and that lineup is so big. Nobody, at least in the last few weeks, has been able to kind of overcome that. And that, I would say, for Connecticut tonight, that's a huge challenge. Obviously, battling Mara and Big Yaks inside. I love Connecticut's big guy, Reed, but he's only one guy in there. So they're going to have to figure out a way to limit Michigan on the boards, to try to limit their second chance points, I would say, and just try to make them have to score from the perimeter more so than they have been in the tournament thus far, which obviously is a tall order, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, Coach, but they're winning, 18 to 20 points every game. The closest was Alabama, and they lost by 13, and that whole second half was just a shellacking. I give Alabama credit for being able to put together a half to be up by 2.
Yeah,
but, but Michigan came out like a howitzer, and to me, they just don't have a weakness. Because Cadeau isn't the biggest point guard, but he really does a really good job distributing. He's much better shooter than he was a year ago. And Amari Burnett knows his role. He's another Bama guy. He can defend. He can make open threes. And then, like you said, Mara played a tremendous game Saturday. He's huge, and Yaks can play inside and out. He's there. But the funny thing is, they got rolling so much against Arizona. With him being banged up, he played a little bit the second half, made some plays, but they really didn't even need him because they were so locked in and playing so well.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that injury was ugly looking. I love that he came out immediately after the game, so there's no way I wouldn't play Monday.
Yeah, right. Right.
A lot of guys are the day to day, and he's like, "No, I'm playing." But Cadeau has been impressive to me this year. I was not a fan of his at North Carolina. I thought he turned the ball over too much, and I thought he was soft. But he's really improved and become a really good point guard for Michigan. I don't know if that's because they're just kind of like you were saying, Drew, just kind of simplifying his role for him and just having him distribute the ball. And, I thought at North Carolina, he took at times he would take some terrible shots. And, Dusty May's done a great job, obviously with all those guys that they brought in, as most good coaches are today, kind of melding those transfers in together. And, some of those guys just needed a different voice. Or maybe some, to be disciplined more when this program that they come from. But I agree. And to me, I would say, one of the things that UConn needs to do, again, easier said than done, is what Alabama's doing. They've got to make a bunch of threes tonight, and they're capable of it. But I don't think they have a chance, unless they can make 10 or 12 or more threes tonight and try to pull Michigan out. I was listening to the earlier part of the show, Drew, and I thought the same thing about the Georgetown Villanova. I was trying to rack my brain and say, what would be a comparable championship game, to one that where I feel like that it's crazy to say UConn's outmanned, but I think Michigan is so more highly favored than them. It's kind of one of those games you feel like UConn's just got to have a night where they just have an off the chart shooting performance to really make this a game. And if it gets tight, who knows what could happen. Dan Hurley is a tremendous coach. And so I'd love to see it get down to that point to where, because I think these are two great coaches. Mm-hmm. You kind of get to, the last 7 or 8 minutes and it's tight and just kind of see what these guys can do from the bench.
Well, and you mentioned those 11, 12 threes that UConn needs to hit because of Michigan's length. They do a good job of pushing you off the three-point line and making those threes awful difficult to take.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they try to get some. To me, I've always really thought Tom Izzo was maybe the best in the country with different offensive sets and being able to get the kind of shots he wants. But I feel like Hurley is right there with him. That some of the things that they do offensively, some of the sets they run, they're able to get their best players shots, in points on the court that they want to get those shots from. And so, I guarantee you tonight that they're going to have their best players taking, some good threes. But I just think that's a key for them, and it's going to be tough to get those threes off. But if they can and pull Michigan out, they'll lose some of that rim protection, and then some of those guys like Ball can attack the paint more, maybe try to finish at the rim some.
Well, and then with Dusty May, if he can win this title in dominant fashion, it really puts into further perspective and how good a coach he is, because we were talking about this before you came on during the break, Coach Stapler, and what he did at Florida Atlantic to come within a bucket of playing for a national championship. I think it's every bit as significant as the 2-year run for Butler and Brad Stevens. I kind of consider Dusty May and Brad Stevens kind of in the same class of young coaches that are kind of just ahead of the curve.
Yeah, I do too. And I totally agree with you. To make that run at Florida Atlantic, which for sure had never had any kind of a significance in the tournament like that, was incredible. And I like his demeanor on the sideline. He's obviously calm. He's under control. He's shown a little bit more of his personality, it seems like, in the tournament this year in some of the interviews.
Right.
But he's obviously a very confident guy. He was actually an assistant for Mike Davis at UAB when I was at Birmingham Southern, and I just crossed paths with him some. Of course, that was years ago. But super impressive with what he's done in his career. He's won everywhere he's been, and I think that I really liked the Michigan program when Beeline was the head coach there, and I think Dusty May's kind of come in and done some of the things, but he's even kind of taken it to a different level with bringing back some of these former players, and I like to see the Fab Five. Of course, everybody's going to embrace a winner. But I like to see these guys being integrated back in the program because of what they meant so much to Michigan, back when they were coming through.
Yeah, and then real quick, as we're wrapping it up, North Carolina's taking some twists. It just goes to show you that with the NIL and the portal and kind of the changing landscape, Nate Oates gets bumped up to top 5 money in the country at Alabama. We see Dusty May turn down North Carolina. We've seen Tommy Lloyd. Scott and I were talking. I think it's basically Billy Donovan and then maybe, I guess, Byington at Vanderbilt. But this search has definitely not gone the way Carolina wanted. But if they can find a way to get Billy Donovan, I think it's still going to be successful.
When I was in Birmingham, Sonny and Wimp used to have their show in the mornings,
Right.
and I would listen
That's
to
right.
him driving in to work. And one of the things that I always remember Wimp said is he said, if you fire somebody, you got to hire somebody. And he would say it over and over and over again. And I thought that. I was like, okay, I know a lot of the Carolina fans didn't like, the direction of the program, but I don't know how, if you're North Carolina, how can you make that decision and not have somebody ready to step in? It may have been after the tournament was over, but to me, it makes the program look terrible. To be North Carolina and be out there, with these names of guys who are obviously great coaches, but to have the perception that all these people have turned North Carolina down, that's not the Carolina that we all grew up, watching. And I think, like you said, it's changed because of the portal. But man, that's North Carolina. They ought to be able to get who they want to. I just think they bungled the way they've done this. And here's the issue to me. If they don't get Billy Donovan, he's got tons of credibility because he won 2 championships. Well, Hubert Davis got him to the national championship game, so you can't just go out and hire him. And in my opinion, Byington, who's done a great job, but how is he better than Hubert Davis? What's he done as a coach better than Hubert Davis?
Very true.
Right.
So I think they're in a pickle if they don't get Donovan. To me, in that I love the programs like that and like Duke, who've always kind of stayed within the family. There's not that many options anymore if you are North Carolina, but I just think that was kind of a hasty decision because of what happened in that game, and it was a meltdown. But I thought, look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. They stuck with Mike Tomlin for all those years, and they had stability. In this day and time, it's a 1-year deal to flip your roster.
Yeah.
And I just I thought they would have done a better job with the search than that, but maybe had to commit for people, and they just used them to get a better contract where they were. But it's going to be really interesting to see who they hire, because obviously time is investments, because the portal's opening up, and if you wait a week or two too late, then all of a sudden it doesn't matter who you bring in. You don't have any players, you're not going to win.
Yeah, exactly. Well, great stuff from the eyes of a former college coach like yourself, who's been around so many of these guys, and great insight into Dusty May. And I'm going to enjoy tonight a lot too, Coach, because my old coach is getting honored. He's been there the whole weekend in the Final Four, Coach Val, and that 76 Hoosiers team getting honored tonight, man. That's a great thing. I'm glad he's been back with those guys, and Sharon Valavicius has been giving updates. Sounds like they've had a great time. His son Brian's with him. I can't wait to get him on the show this week and talk about it, but he's part of maybe the greatest team of all time, and it's great to see him get honored.
Yep.
I agree, man. I love Coach Val, and I've heard some of his stories about playing there and for Bobby Knight with that team, and it's really cool to have somebody in our community who's done that, and so I agree with you. Well, guys, thanks for having me on this morning. I really appreciate it. Love anytime we can talk basketball, and as always, just appreciate so much what you guys do for basketball and for high school sports in the community. Appreciate you keeping it all everybody up to date with what's going on.
Yes, sir. Enjoy the finals. Thank you, Coach.
Okay, y'all have a good afternoon. Thank you. Bye.
Let's get a break in. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Introducing The Golfist, Huntsville's newest, nicest, and only multi-location indoor golf venue. Play over 2,000 courses with state-of-the-art simulator technology, perfect for golfers of all skill levels. For a limited time, grab an unlimited membership for just $99 a month. Or book with our grand opening pricing. It's the best value in Huntsville. Check us out at thegolfist.com.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement, it's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943. Member FDIC.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penney Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penney perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penney Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penney Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPenneyToyota.com. Bill Penney's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Just a couple seconds left here in hour number 1. Coming up, though, in hour number 2, Nick Kelly's going to join us at the bottom of the hour. We'll fill you in on everything there. Jason Caldwell will join us in hour number 3, recapping the Auburn NIT win last night and more. But phone lines are open to you to kick off hour number 2, 256-576-4977. You can give us your good, the bad, the ugly from the Final Four and anything in between. It's Talking Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Chris Sale on the mound today for the Atlanta Braves. He's another 75 road favorite against the Angels at Jose Soriano plus 144. 7.5 over the total at Angel Stadium. In 10 yesterday, the Diamondbacks edged the Braves 6-5 to earn a split of that series in Phoenix. National Championship game today, Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. It's Michigan 7.5-point favorites over UConn. 144.5 the total. VSiN's Matt Humans likes UConn plus 7. Greg Peterson likes over 144 on the total. VSIN.com/picks. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This hour brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center helping us get ready for hour number 2, 256-881-5151 if you want to experience the SportsMed difference. You can find them online at sportsmedalabama.com. I mentioned in hour number 1 that Michigan has a chance tonight to help the Big Ten do something that no conference has done since 2007. That's the last time a conference has won the 3: college football, women's basketball, and men's basketball. Of course, Florida doing their part to handle the basketball and football national titles. Tennessee women beat Rutgers that year to win the women's basketball national championship.
I think Tennessee won it the next year, too. I think 2008 was the last time they won it.
Yeah.
Before the great Pat Summitt started having the dementia issues and had to retire much too soon, probably 10 years early.
Candace Parker, by the way, was the outstanding player for Tennessee.
And she was great
in that national championship game.
And again, just it's just sad that her career ended the way it did because she meant so much to the women's game. She elevated it. She set the table for Gino to start making his run in the early 90s and become the program that kind of that they measured themselves against each other, Tennessee and UConn. But yeah, man, it's hard to believe it's been that long too. And I'll be honest, I don't think Tennessee's made it since 2008 to the women's Final Four.
Woo.
Since and of course they really haven't come close since she retired. And it's just been a matter of fact, Scott. We know the tumultuous year they had this year under Kim Caldwell.
Right.
I think they've only got 2 players left, and that's counting signees that have asked out. It's a little bit dicey in Knoxville right now. I'm actually
they don't have a team.
No, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Here's my point, and it kind of goes back to something Scott Stapler said. Like, okay, they fired Hubert Davis for losing that game to VCU, in the first round where they just didn't play very well, and they had that 19-point lead.
Yeah.
But don't forget, Caleb Wilson got hurt. Okay, he's a top 10 pick. They probably have a good chance of getting to the second weekend if he doesn't get hurt because they're not even going to be a 6 seed, okay? So that's why I thought he didn't deserve to be fired because it wasn't his fault that the kid got hurt. Now, it was a bad loss,
right?
Okay? But I thought, maybe put him on the hot seat next year, but I didn't think that was real smart, firing him as quickly as they did. And again, they didn't fire him right after the game, but I'm just saying they leaked out enough to know that you knew that's what was coming.
Right.
And so I really didn't think that was very smart of Carolina, especially like Coach Stapler said, without having your guy like identified. Now, they can salvage it all by getting Billy Donovan, but they better hope they can do that. And then I thought it was a very interesting I was watching some stuff. There's several basketball people that I trust that you watch their YouTube and their Twitter. And
right.
And then John Rothstein told an interesting story about, the last time, and this ended up not being a good move, Scott, but this was, when Coach Guthridge retired and after his 5 years or so.
Right.
After he took over for Coach Smith. And remember, Roy Williams had been thought to be the favorite to come at that point, but Coach Williams pulled away and said, no, it's Bill Guthridge's job. Like, he's waited on this. And then, what happened was when Coach Guthridge decided to retire, they were going to hire Rick Majerus, which would have been
Utah
very
at the
interesting.
time. Yeah.
And we all know how good Majerus was. Different, but good.
I don't know if he would have fit. I don't know.
And here's
he
what
fit
happened.
North Carolina.
As you know, he played with Jordan.
Yeah.
But Michael called Matt Doherty, who had only been at Notre Dame 1 year, and said, "Hey, man, you got to get involved in this. Like, they're about to hire Rick Majerus and go outside the family. You need to leave Notre Dame and come to Carolina." And he did, and he recruited very well. But as we all saw in a few seasons, it did not go well.
No,
I mean, it was, and it bottomed out with like an 8-20 year or whatever. And then Coach Smith, who was still Dean Smith, was still, he had not had his dementia issues. He was still of sound mind and body. He's the one that called Roy and said, "You got to take the job." And
it's time for you to take the job.
in other words, because he could have stayed at Kansas his whole career. It's Kansas.
Right.
But he was only going to, everybody knew if Roy Williams ever left, it was for one job.
And that was North Carolina.
And he respected Dean Smith so much that when Coach Smith said, and remember, they lost in the national championship game, and then he left for Carolina.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. To me, they're at a crossroads again. There's not really a family guy out there that's worthy of it. So
47%, that's the percentage that the sports books in Vegas are putting on Billy Donovan, to be the
47.
next head coach. 47% to be the next head coach there at North Carolina. Now, we have heard coaches, Tommy Lloyd, Dusty May, both. The conversation at the Final Four has been dominated about potential taking the North Carolina job. Both of them have said no. Tommy Lloyd has gotten a increase in his contract.
I think $7.2 million.
Yeah. So here's the thing. It came out yesterday. Nate Oates at Alabama.
Yep.
He too is getting a contract extension and a little bit of a raise. Now, it does put him in company of the top 5 in college basketball, but Bill Self is top the list right now at $8.8 million. Okay, they did not release Nate Oates' contract numbers, but Mick Cronin, at the start of the day, Mick Cronin was number 5 on the list at $6.1 million. So you would believe Nate Oates' money would be north of $6 million, but Tommy, that puts him in the top 5, but Tommy Lloyd gets a contract extension because of his Arizona run to the Final Four and saying no to North Carolina. So now he will be up in the top 5. He was not in the top 5. He was number 9 at the start of the season.
I think Nate was 10, so they were 9 and 10. So
yes,
they both
Nate
bumped.
was 10. Nate was at 5, just over $5 million. Tommy Lloyd was $5.25 million at the start of the year. Now both of them jump inside the top 5.
To me, it's 6.5 to $7 million is what Nate Oates is making. I've heard Lloyd's making like 7.2, so it's in that category. So that's.
By the way, Dan Hurley is 3rd on the list at the start of the year, $7.7 million
because
for
he
the
turned
UConn
down that
head
bunch
coach.
of lame ducks.
Right now, his name is on that list of potential candidates for the North Carolina job.
Forget it. Just shut up and go get Billy Donovan. Would you shut up and go get Billy Donovan and quit putting these people on the list?
Yeah.
There's one on the list.
Billy Donovan.
You either get it or you're an abject failure. You understand? That's
Okay.
the way it is. This is like Alabama and Nick Saban. You either get Saban or you're an abject failure. You get Billy Donovan or you're an abject failure. That's all there is to it. There is no excuses. There is none. You get him or you're a failure. You're North Carolina. Get the guy. Good grief.
And if you don't?
You're an abject failure.
Right, but who do you look to, though?
Probably Mark Byington. And guess what? That'll cost you $11 million to buy him out. Way to go. You don't even have to buy out Billy Donovan. Get it done. Just call Jordan. Call somebody. Get some money. For God's sake.
But anyway, Nate Oates.
Nobody wants to coach the Lakers.
Nate Oates getting paid to stay at Alabama. All he's done is lead Alabama to 6 consecutive NCAA tournaments.
Which is tying the record.
5 Sweet 16s, 4 of them consecutively. First ever Final Four. They've recorded 13 tournament wins, record, and the most in school history, and produced 5. This number here is what I found was interesting. Nate Oates has produced 5 AP All-Americans in his time there at Alabama. That nearly matches the count of 8 achieved before his tenure.
Well, and he another one, LeBaron Philon, he's added to that list, and he'll be another first-round draft pick / lottery pick for Alabama. We'll see what happens with Amari Allen and what he decides to do. But Alabama, since the days of Wimp Sanderson, had not produced very many first-round draft choices. Gerald Wallace under, Mark Get fired in 2001. he spent a year there and went like 26th overall. There's not been a lot of. I believe he was the last one until Nate Oates got there, and they were regularly happening under Wimp. So that's just the thing. They've started producing pros, and that's why he's been able to recruit so well, and that's why there's the program's been able to ascend and become a second weekend program, and then has made a Final Four. So no question that I think Alabama's making a sound investment. I said this the whole time. I thought he would sign another extension. When people were mentioning him with North Carolina, I just didn't see that happening. I'm glad they're committing to him because, again, we know he's coming back next year, but at this point, it's probably, year to year with Bill Self? Could be. You never know. I mean, if they have a really good year next year and he's feeling good, then I'm sure he'll stay, but you never know. He's had a long tenure with Kansas. You just pointed out he's the highest-paid coach in America.
And once those talks come out about you retiring like that, and as much smoke as there is, usually, remember, we had to talk about that with Bruce Pearl. It was like, is he going to retire? Is he going to retire? No, he comes back. He gets into the Final Four. Yeah. Is he going to retire? Is he going to retire? And he ultimately does. I think that's where Bill Self is right now, where I would not be surprised after next year he ultimately decides to step away from the game.
I think it's going to depend on, A, his health, and then B, they weren't real good this year. They were okay. For his standards.
There was a lot of headlines with Kansas that wasn't about the play.
Yeah, they were. It was rough. Now, if they can bounce back and he can put together a great roster and be Kansas and be an Elite Eight, Final Four program, then he may get the last win to go down the stretch because relatively he's in his early 60s. So in this climate, that's not super old. Now it's a very long tenure he's had, but people forget how young he was when they hired him away from Illinois and how good a much talent he left over there. And before that, I think he went to the Elite Eight with Tulsa.
Yes, because he went from Tulsa to Illinois, and then from Illinois to Kansas.
Yeah. So, and when he went to Kansas, he was basically the dude. Like, everybody said he's going to Kansas. Everybody could see it coming when Roy Williams went to North Carolina. They're like, well, the move is Bill Self to go to Kansas. The only time that there was even any thought he might leave, and I never thought he would do it, was before T. Boone Pickens passed away. And if you remember, Bill Self is an Oklahoma State graduate. So
He's
thought
63 years
old.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
Wow.
And so everybody thought T. Boone was going to throw a ton of money at him and he might go to his alma mater. But just to be blunt, and Oklahoma State has really good history, okay? I'm not they had Eddie Sutton, you're not Henry Iba, one of the greats. But I'm just saying, when you compare Oklahoma State and Kansas, it's tough to leave Kansas.
Right.
I mean, Kansas is one of the top 3, 4, 5 jobs. We all know that.
You want to take a guess at where he was before Tulsa?
Bill Self?
From 93 to 97. He was there for 4 years.
Man.
He got him to the NIT first round, and that was it. But he improved him every year. His first year, he was 6-21. His last year there, he was 21-7.
Honestly, The first time I ever heard his name was when he was going on them runs at Tulsa.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even tell you where he was.
He was at Tulsa for 3 years.
Yeah,
He got him to the NCAA tournament twice,
Mm-hmm.
a round of 32 in the Elite Eight. He was at Oral Roberts.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
for
yeah,
4
yeah.
years.
Okay,
He was at Oral Roberts
Okay.
for 4 years before he ventured to Tulsa.
And that makes sense because both those jobs were in Oklahoma. You know, where and
he was at Oklahoma State he was there
as an assistant
for quite a while. He was there from the 86 to 93 seasons as an assistant at Oklahoma State.
Which means he was there under Eddie Sutton.
And he was only at Kansas for 1 year as an assistant.
Yeah.
From 85 to 86.
Oh, that must have been for Nomad Larry Brown, maybe.
And that's why I guess everybody put him on that Kansas list because –
well, and then they put him on Oklahoma State because of T-Boone.
Yes.
But, I mean, but I never could see it. I mean, I know there was heavy speculation about it maybe 10, 12 years ago before T-Boone passed, but I just couldn't see that happening. Yeah, I think it was after Eddie retired, and then they had to fire Sean Sutton because, remember, Sean Sutton was the coach in waiting who played for his dad and everything and followed him from Kentucky to Oklahoma State. And when that didn't work out, I think a lot of people had Bill Self pegged. Could they offer him enough money to get him to leave?
Yeah.
But just Kansas is Kansas, man.
Bill Self has been to the NCAA tournament. This is just unreal to think
That's a
about.
record, right? Like 27 times in a row?
He has – so his first year getting to the NCAA tournament was in 1998 when he got Tulsa there.
Tulsa, yeah.
He has not missed the NCAA tournament since.
Never. Never at Kansas.
No. His only year at Tulsa was his first year. He did not get there, but since then he has coached an NCAA tournament game from the 1998 season all the way through till now. He has not missed an NCAA tournament. That is just unreal.
I think Izzo
to
is
think about.
I think Izzo's right behind him, like second.
Yeah,
because he's made it nearly every year at Michigan, or pretty much every year at Michigan State. Pretty stunning.
That is just
crazy.
and then you look and this is not making fun of Alabama or Nate Oates, but you look at the resume Nate Oates is building, and you're like,
it's great.
5 consecutive trips, and you're like,
well,
okay,
it also shows where Alabama's program was before he got there.
Yes, I think that
was mediocre.
Yes.
I mean, it was just not good.
I'm just looking at his record. So Tom Izzo's streak started in 1997.
Yeah.
And has not missed the NCAA tournament since then. Yeah. Has gone every year since 1997 for Tom Izzo.
Now, he's had a couple close calls.
Yeah.
But he's gotten in every time. And then Bill Self has never failed to get there with Kansas. And he had all that remarkable success in the Big 12, winning the league, umpteen years in a row in the tournament. Now it's become harder because it's become with Arizona and Houston and all them moving in there, so it's tougher.
Yeah.
And even BYU to a degree because they've got all that NIL money, and they had DeMansta, and now they're bringing in this other kid. So they're trying to stay there, but the success is still remarkable. What he's been able to do and to be that consistent and to get there every time and then not go to the NBA, which is good. I mean, because even blue bloods like Kentucky, North Carolina, and Duke have missed. Don't forget, 1 year, Calipari, as good a run as he had at Kentucky in 15 years, he went to the NIT and lost at Robert Morris.
That's right.
I mean, because they
and
then remember the COVID year where the season was just different. It was there was controlled crowds and everything, and it was a different type year. They had a losing record, and then weren't good, and then didn't even make the tournament. So even jobs like that.
Yeah.
Have missed the NCAA tournament every once in a blue moon. Doesn't happen a lot, but, it just, I mean, that's pretty good stuff right there.
All right, got to get a break in. Let's get a break in. When we come back, we'll get out to the phone lines, 256-576-4977. It's Talking Ball.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
AL cert number 21014.
Welcome into the hottest and coolest game show around called The Freeze. Today's contestant, Bob. Bob, can you tell me the heating and air business that provides free service with repair?
Is it Talent Heating and Air Conditioning?
Can you tell me which heating and air business provides free second opinions?
Talent Heating and Air Conditioning.
You are a grand prize winner. You have won a visit from the #1 heating and air business in the Tennessee Valley.
Talent Heating and Air Conditioning?
That's right. Talent Heating and Air is coming to you.
This is Thomas with Talent Heating and Air Conditioning, and you don't have to win a game show to use us. We have free second opinions year-round, and we're doing free service calls with a repair. So just remember, call Talent Heating and Air Conditioning at 256-503-4490 or visit us on our website at talenthvac.com.
You've been paying on that life insurance policy for years, but maybe you don't really need it anymore, or it's gotten a bit too expensive. Well, before you just let it expire, let Neighbors Insurance Solutions share with you some alternatives that you haven't considered. Don't throw away something that still may have great value for you. If you want to learn more about what Neighbors Insurance Solutions can do for you, call 256-763-7693. A death benefit could be a life benefit. Learn more at 256-763-7693.
When a team sticks together, it shows in the way they work and the way they treat you.
We don't just hire great people, they stay. On average, our managers have been with us over 15 years and company-wide turnover is under 3%.
It's a culture built on integrity and heart.
When you call, you get someone who knows your name, understands your business, and is invested in your success.
And that means service you can count on every time.
Tom Abraham here for my longtime friend Mike Owen of Owen Home Appliance. You know, Mike has over 25 years experience in the appliance industry, and since 2017, Owen Home Appliance has served customers in the Tennessee Valley with a focus on quality products, affordable prices, and excellent customer service. Owen Home Appliance prides themselves on community involvement as well, sponsoring local teams and events while making sure that you get the right appliance at the right price. Visit their highly interactive showroom in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river on 231.
Talking Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back, 8:22 on a Monday. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone, getting you ready for tonight's national championship game on the hardwood. 256-576-4977. We talked Nate Oates getting his contract extension, and we've also talked about Auburn winning the NIT last night in Indianapolis over Tulsa. 256-576-4977. You can join us here on a Monday. Johnny on his cell is with us this morning. Good morning, Johnny.
Good morning.
Morning, guys. So, with the extension of Oates and now making him a top 5 paid coach in America, I think we can finally put to bed he's going anywhere.
Yeah, I think
so. I don't think it's. I would still, in a year or two, you could still hold your breath with Kansas, and but he has already turned down Kentucky a couple of times in overtures, and the only other school that has not come open that he's been connected to has been Michigan State because there's a relationship with Tom Izzo. But something tells me, and I'm just guessing here, but by the time Tom and Coach Izzo, God has blessed him. He's had great health. He really seems like he's still totally connected to everything. He talked about that the other day. He's as energetic as ever. Remember, he was kind of the coach in waiting and took over for Judd Heathcote when he retired. I got a funny feeling they're going to baton it again and it'll never come open officially.
You think
but
so?
We'll see. I think they've had 2 coaches in almost 60 years.
Yeah, Judd Heathcote, and then into Tom Izzo.
But if we can get, like I said, Terrell and some of these other bigs kind of hang around with the 3 that are coming in this year, Bama's gonna be loaded next year. Like I said, I still think I'd like to see another big or experienced big. I mean, we did whip on Williamson this year, but I mean so the other exciting thing is it looks like that the ladies softball and the men's baseball are definite contenders for the World Series. And if that's the case, you'll have a football team that made the playoffs, a basketball team to the Sweet 16, and a baseball and softball program that made it to the World Series. That's a pretty good help rating for your athletic department.
No, I completely agree. This weekend for baseball and softball was significant, especially on the softball end. When you lose is the way they did on Friday, and Thursday, pardon me.
Yeah.
9-1,
Texas.
and it was the number 1 team in the country, and your ace gets knocked around a little bit, and as Coach Patrick Murphy said, you get punched in the face. How are you going to respond? Well, and then to top it all off, you fall behind 4-0 on Friday, and then come back and score 11 straight, win it impressively, and then win it impressively on Saturday. That was huge. I mean, that shows you how good they are.
The baseball team took 2 out of 3, won 8 of the last 9, but they went 2 out of 3 on the road at Oklahoma, which was ranked 11th. I mean, and quite frankly, the baseball team's pretty scary. I mean, they swept Auburn. This is a team that it's the first time in a while you thought, hey, this baseball team's got a chance to get to the World Series and do some damage.
Well, they had a really good regular season last year, and then kind of down the stretch into the SEC tournament and then into the regional, they frittered away some opportunities. Now they got a really tough regional draw because they really had a resume to host, and then they had to go to Southern Mississippi, who's a really underrated program, who's very consistent. And then, not to top it all off, the 3 seed in it was Miami, and Miami ended up winning it. But they lost 2 excruciatingly close games. So that's the next step for Coach Vaughn, is basically to hopefully host and get a chance to do some damage.
Yeah.
But they have certainly responded since that for opening rough weekend against Kentucky, and they've got Arkansas coming in to Sewell Thomas and Samford this week as well.
And most accounts say that this Alabama football team that they see in the spring is going to be much improved along the lines of scrimmage. So
I would hope so, yeah.
I mean, if that's the case, we know that the back end on defense is going to be as solid as anybody in America, and that the skill set coming in of what he's recruited. Now, if it's Keelan, which we all know he's an electric kind of football player. You have to wonder if it's Mac or Keelan, but I think Keelan gives you the higher upside. And with that kind of dynamic playmaker at QB, with all the talent around him, it could be we could finally be headed into a fun season where they have us like the 3rd or 4th ranked team in the SEC for win totals, and I think we could turn around and hurt a lot of feelings. I would like to see the SEC championship game go away because it's a meaningless point at this point. I mean, and people say, what are you talking about? But you think Georgia would have liked to have had a shot with the team they had with Carson Beck versus Gunnar Stockton as a freshman 2 years ago? So I just think that the time has come for that game to go away. I'm out.
Yeah,
thank you, Johnny. Appreciate it.
No, I mean, that's the growing sentiment around college football is.
May very well happen. I always thought it would be too much money, but with the playoff expanding and making more money off of that, it could eliminate.
And speaking of playoffs expanding, it came out over the weekend at the NCAA tournament after tonight that it will get voted on that this field will no longer be known as 68. It will expand. It will expand. The college basketball tournament will expand. That is the feeling around college basketball. It was released over the weekend. Yahoo Sports and others reporting that this will be the last tournament of 68. Not liking that one, are you?
Just give Charlie Baker more money to steal.
Oh, let's get a break in. Nick Kelly. I tell you, one of the things I've loved this weekend, though, is watching people post on X and all social media accounts of their seats at the Final Four, where they're on the very last row.
Yeah, they got the binoculars.
They've paid $400 or $500 to see a court.
I'll just watch it on television, thanks.
And the court looks like you can barely see it. My wife said, well, why would you do that? It's like swatting gnats all night long. She goes, like looking at gnats play college basketball.
I'm not paying that kind of money. I know it'd be neat to experience a Final Four.
Right.
But if I'm going to experience one, it'll be from press row way on down there.
It takes you half a day to get there.
Yeah, we're not doing this crap where I need binoculars. I mean, and then you probably can still barely see it.
Yeah.
And they look like little dots.
They look like dots, yes.
Yeah. I'll watch it on television, thanks.
Yeah, tonight you're going to have you'll have a blue dot and a white dot.
Yeah.
And that's all you're going to get.
Yeah, they keep talking about green dot linebackers. I don't need to see white dot players.
White dot, blue dot.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get a break in. Nick Kelly will join us on the flip side. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Travel accommodations for 97.7 ESPN The Zone provided by University Kia. Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Fox 54 weather impact meteorologist Emily Owen. A quiet night across the Tennessee Valley for this Monday. Low temperatures will be falling into the upper 40s for the overnight. We'll sit under a partly cloudy sky. Heading into our Tuesday, expect to see mostly sunshine. Temperatures will be warming into the upper 60s for the afternoon, falling once again back into the upper 40s for the overnight Tuesday night under a mostly clear sky.
Your Fox 54 weather only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Check out our latest Zone deal.
Field Day. With spring break coming up, there's no better way to save some money and stay in town at Huntsville's go-to spot for fun, flavor, and unforgettable memories. Whether you're here to watch the big game or create your own memories, it's Field Day, our latest Zone deal.
Just head over to our website, 977ESPN.com. Zone deals on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Have you tried indoor golf yet? You need to check out The Golfus. The Golfus is Huntsville's newest, nicest, and only multi-location indoor golf venue. Spend an hour on the virtual range working on your game or play more than 2,000 golf courses. Our grand opening pricing makes us the best value in town. And if you really love it, grab a limited time, unlimited golf membership for only $99 a month. Get all of the details at thegolfus.com.
It's softball time in Alabama, and the best place for your travel softball team is to play with USSSA Softball. Not only for the best travel team tournaments, but for recreational softball tournaments all around the area, as well for your high school level softball team. Plus, the USSSA National Championship this year is at the Gulf Shore in Orange Beach and the Foley Softball Complex. Now, for more information, visit alfastpitch.usssa.com. That's alfastpitch.usssa.com.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Now, Jimmy, you better not be eating that baseball again.
But, Dad, I yearn for the sweet taste of the sport. This is the best that I got.
Well, then, put down that ball and let's head over to the yard for something a little less
rubbery.
Don't eat your glove this season. Take advantage of our Big Zone deals and head on over to the Yard Milkshake Barn right outside of Toyota Field, where you'll find sweet treats like the Biscoff Cheesecake, Sweet Heat Mango, Shirley Temple Floats, and so many more. It's the Yard Milkshake Barn. Make this summer a home run hit.
In the market for a new or used car? Look no further than Hyundai of Decatur. With a large inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned Hyundai models, Greenway Hyundai of Decatur is here to service all of your Hyundai needs. Come visit our exceptional service department as well. With state-of-the-art facilities and a caring team of automotive professionals waiting to service your vehicle, make Hyundai of Decatur your #1 choice for all your automotive needs. Give them a call today at 256-274-0279 or visit them online at greenwayhyundaiofdecatur.com.
I'm Bill Crawford, the host of The Point with Bill Crawford. Tune us in Monday through Friday from 2 to 4 p.m. on Talk Radio WZZN.
All right, 8:35 on a Monday morning. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond. Welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. And we were talking about Nate Oates' contract extension there before the break. Alabama spring football, what a weekend it was for baseball and softball for the Crimson Tide. Alabama, we mentioned it, takes 2 out of 3 from #1 Texas. Baseball takes 2 out of 3 on the road, which was key there against Oklahoma.
Yeah, it was their first road series win of the year.
Yeah, big one there. Doesn't get any easier, though, because it is the SEC. Midweek games are always tricky as well. But they get Samford this week, and then they are at home against Arkansas. But a lot to get to, with our next guest.
Yeah, because A-Day weekend's coming up. It's going to be a busy one on campus, certainly. And we just finished a busy week on campus with, like we said, softball had the #1 team in the country, Texas in town. They win 2 out of 3. Alabama goes to Oklahoma in Norman in baseball, wins 2 out of 3. But the biggest thing is Alabama had their second scrimmage, a lot of intel coming out of there football-wise. And then Nate Oates signing a big contract officially yesterday. We're going to talk about that and more with our next guest. He, of course, a couple years ago was the Sports Writer of the Year for AL.com. In our state of Alabama, does a great job covering the Alabama beat for AL.com, and that's the one and only Nick Kelly, and he's with us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline at WZZN. Nick, how you doing, man?
Hey, guys, good to be with you.
Yeah, it's always great to have you,
yes.
Man. And a lot of activity this weekend, man. Certainly, we'll talk football in just a second, but major news coming out basketball-wise. I know you've had some intel about, your roster decisions coming up, and that'll start this week with the portal opening up tomorrow. But big-time news getting Nate Oates locked up yet again, it looks like.
Yeah, getting that deal done is important timing with the transfer portal opening up on Tuesday and essentially telling the world of college basketball that, hey, Nate Oates is not only committed verbally, but he's signed on the dotted line. So big deal getting that deal done. There's no doubt it was going to get done eventually, but actually getting it done, I think, was really important for this time of year to make sure they can build that roster for next year.
And you look at that decision by Alabama to extend Oates and make him one of the top 5, as of right now, one of the top 5 highest paid coaches in college basketball. Nick, it didn't seem like too long ago that maybe another program would come in and try to get Nate Oates and possibly could get him because of the money. But now I think it's a sign that Alabama is committed, fully committed to men's basketball.
No doubt. And finding out the particulars of the contract will be interesting in terms of the buyout for Nate Oates if he wants to leave. But I think this commits Nate Oates at least for this next year and go from there and see what happens. But I think, every year you get a Nate Oates is another good year for the program. And we'll see what happens long term. But for at least next year, they've got him locked up. And we'll see from there in terms of what the buyout looks like and what his future might look like as a coach.
Yeah.
Well, and what do we make of the news coming out in the last few days about Aiden Holloway and his legal situation? And what it might mean for him coming back to Alabama or going into the portal. I would think if the legal situation can be rectified that he would like to return and Nate Oates would like to have him back. But I know you also said before this happened that he would be very popular in the portal and then potentially with other programs. So what do we make of what's come out with him being indicted and things of that nature?
Yeah, frankly, it might be a timing thing in terms of could he come back or could he not. I mean, the transfer portal is opening tomorrow, and It stays open for what? I'm totally blanking. Is it a month or 2 weeks? And so however long it's open, we don't know when his court case is going to proceed or when some kind of plea deal could be reached, or just we don't know what's next because nothing is officially on the books right now. And so in terms of timing, it's real uncertain in terms of when he would be available, essentially. I don't know if no longer tied down by the legal situation, but right now that's still ongoing. So, yeah, to me, it probably helps the case of keeping him at Alabama, where my sense is the door remains open for him to come back and play again, so long as all the legal situation gets resolved. And, yeah, he's no longer suspended from the school. He's still suspended from the team as of last week, but he's no longer suspended from the school. And I do think the timing of the portal being open very soon and his legal situation still having to play out probably helps the case of keeping him in Tuscaloosa.
Plenty of basketball news, and there'll still be some because once that portal gets open, you don't know if guys are staying, guys are coming. But, Nick, obviously, because of basketball and how long it went on and all the news and everything, it's kind of overshadowed spring football a little bit. But A-Day, I mean, you look and here we are. A-Days are right around the corner for this Alabama football team.
Yeah, another A-Day, and I think it'll be more scrimmage-like. So I think it's going to be an interesting practice to see where they're at. And at this point, to see which group is essentially ahead. I think the offense had a good first scrimmage. The defense sounded to be a lot better in the second scrimmage and had some good energy and pop to it. And so, yeah, which side of the ball maybe looks better in this scrimmage is going to be really fascinating. And how do the new guys look? Because to me, I've heard a lot of good things about some of the new guys, some of the transfers that have been brought in, especially on defense. You look at Devin Tompkins from Southern Cal, or Desmond, I haven't said his last name out loud enough, I think Ume Zulu from South Carolina. I need to work on that one. So some of those guys that sound to be having a big impact, how are they going to look? So I'm eager to see that myself.
Yeah, and then I've heard good stuff, I believe, about Terrence Green, too, the D tackle from Oregon. So it looks like they've got three nice pieces along that defensive front that'll improve them potentially. Nick, of course, we won't know until they officially take the field. But then you're also hearing good stuff. I heard good stuff coming out because we know Isaiah Horton went to Texas A&M, but his replacement essentially from NC State was Noah Rogers, and it sounds like he had a good scrimmage.
Yeah, I think he had the best scrimmage of any receiver on the offense in scrimmage number 2. And Ryan Coleman-Williams had a more limited, I think, role or impact, just didn't have a lot of opportunities in the second scrimmage after he had a big first scrimmage. But Noah Rogers, seeing him emerge, wearing that number 5 that Jeremy Bernard wore, he could be a nice piece to add to that rotation where you have Ryan Coleman-Williams, you have Latsir Brooks, and then some other guys who bring some intrigue and potential. But Noah Rogers is a little older, a little more experienced, and I think that could be a nice number 3, number 4 kind of guy in that rotation at receiver. So very encouraging to hear that about a newcomer there.
Nick Kelly joining us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline as well as WZZN TV this morning. And Nick, obviously a lot of people that come to A-Day because it's going to be a scrimmage-like thing this year are going to look at that quarterback spot, but you know, Kalen DeBoer has said this is probably something that'll go over into fall camp and maybe the first week of fall camp, you know, the regular season. We don't know, but if you're watching in the stands, I mean, what do you think how should we look at that quarterback battle for A-Day?
Yeah, I think first off, see who makes mistakes. One of the most important things that a quarterback can do is take care of the football and run the offense and operate it well. Because to me, this quarterback, whoever it is, Keelan Russell or Austin Mack, they're going to need more help than Ty Simpson got. And Ty Simpson was an older guy. He had more experience. He could handle a lot of the offense and essentially making it run, but they're going to need more support. So if Alabama can get its running game going, if some of these receivers can make plays, can the quarterback make sure that he takes care of the football? That's the biggest thing. And then after that, who makes plays? Who seems to essentially have some pop to his throws, who makes some good throws, who just looks good, who maneuvers well? I think those are the types of things that I'll be looking for. But, yeah, to your point, guys, this quarterback competition has a long ways to go. Anyone I talked to who watched the scrimmage on Friday did not seem to think that either quarterback had looked better than the other or really had a significant edge. So at this point, it still looks like the pecking order, just because of seniority and experience, is Austin Mack and then Keelan Russell. And so Keelan Russell is going to have to beat Austin Mack out, with him being the younger guy, the less experienced guy. And until that happens, Austin Mack, he went first with the offense. And to me, yeah, it's something where Keelan Russell is going to have to beat him out.
And then we've also heard about the offensive line. Interesting that we continue to hear Javen James at right tackle and, of course, left tackle Jackson Lloyd, and that Mike Carroll has been inside at guard, Nick.
Yeah, I think they're looking to see what the best combination groupings, how that looks, like what works the best. And Carroll at guard might be that option. Carroll was recruited to play guard. I mean, that's a position that I think he could play really well. And, yeah, he can play right tackle, but in Alabama's system, my understanding is guard's a bit more complicated and takes a little more understanding of the offense and the blocking scheme to play. And so he's the only returning starter, so he might make a lot of sense to play at guard, and maybe you have more options that you feel can play that right tackle spot. So we'll see how it progresses, but I do think that him playing at guard could make a lot of sense. And, yeah, Javen James, he's going to have some competition at that right tackle spot. I mean, Nick Brooks from Texas, and you also have Ty Haywood and some other guys in the offense that could give him some competition. So I don't know that he's locked up that spot, but he's certainly in contention for an offensive line spot at this point. So we'll kind of see how that progresses and see how they keep rotating guys.
Could you see Alabama on A-Day really put an emphasis on, you mentioned that running game and needing help from the running game. Do you think Alabama would could see them put a huge emphasis on trying to, I guess, use this as a real day to work on that running game, try different things?
Yeah, I think they're trying to take every day to work on the running game at this point and get guys different looks and get different backs in there. And they haven't had E.J. Crowell, who's been banged up. But, yeah, get the other guys some looks and get them some more experience, see how things work, and really, yeah, to your point, make a point to try and run the football better and find ways that work and find blocking schemes that work and find different types of handoffs or runs that work. And so, yeah, I think you'll see a heavy dose of the running game on Saturday.
Yeah, no question. And it sounds like they like that Kevin Riley had a big scrimmage, and we certainly heard about Daniel Hill and maybe reshaping his body. You just mentioned Crowell kind of being banged up, but A.K. Deere, and then the young freshman from Huntsville, Texas, not Huntsville, Alabama, making a big run as well. So it sounds like they've had some running backs perform pretty well.
Yeah, I think some good signs, and until I see it on Saturdays in the fall, I'm not necessarily going to believe it yet. But I think, yeah, some encouraging things were said about guys like Kevin Riley and even Daniel Hill, someone who one observer told me looks a lot better than last year, and part of that probably is his weight and has a little more burst now. And it's hard to maybe see what a Daniel Hill type can do just because he is a strong guy, and the strength of his game is running guys over and essentially being tough in the middle of the field. So you can't really see that in a scrimmage where you're not trying to get guys hurt necessarily. So, yeah, I think for a guy like that, I'm interested to see his progress. But Kevin Riley, A.K. Deere, and just the new guys too. I heard some good things about Trayshawn at running back, and yeah, we'll kind of see how those guys progress, and that's who it's against. 2-3s might impact the guy standing out. So again, I need to see it in the fall, but certainly some positive things that I think some people saw from the second scrimmage. But then again, I think everyone's looking for any sign of positive improvement from that group because it was really bad in 2025.
Well, and one thing we can say, last comment to get from you for the football is the secondary, though, does seem loaded. I mean, the guys you heard about, Ivan Taylor had a nice scrimmage. Jordan Edmonds, keep hearing about him. I mean, that's pretty significant because they've already got a lot of really good players returning, and they've got guys like Bray Hubbard, Sabb sitting out, but it seems like the secondary is very deep.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost stupid how deep it is because it's hard to build that depth in this day and age. And think about, guys, how that was the position that maybe got gutted more than any other position on the roster when Nick Saban retired, because Nick Saban was a defensive backs coach. So a lot of guys came to Alabama to play for him. And credit to Maurice Linguist, Jason Jones, Courtney Morgan, guys who've rebuilt that defensive back room because they've got so much depth, so many options. And it's going to be hard because some of these freshmen like Edwards and Edmonds, like, you want to get them on the field. I mean, they're 5-star guys who are talented young guys, and you want to find ways to get them snaps and reps. But you also have guys like Xavier Brown and Dejon Lee, and you also have Carmelo O'Neal, who they added from Mercer that they like. And so they just have so many good options. Red Morgan has stood out. He's had a good spring. So there are just so many guys, and how they play them and how they use them is going to be super fascinating come fall.
Yeah, it should be. And then before we let you go, I just noticed it, and I know you reposted it, but the portal, this is the first entry that I've seen from Alabama. This is before the official portal opens, but and there had even been a report that he was returning. I never saw it, but looks like Taylor Bowen entering the portal.
Yeah, that's not a huge shock to me. I think that the year, unfortunately, was impacted by injuries some, but he never quite had the impact I think they were hoping he would have in his year after transferring from Florida State. So I think it makes sense. He goes somewhere else, sees if he can find a better opportunity, and kind of go from there.
Yeah, we'll see. And I know you guys will have full coverage of the portal coming up in basketball and A-Day. It's going to be a busy week, Nick. I know you guys at AL.com. Let everybody know how to follow you.
Check us out, AL.com, @_Nick Kelly on Twitter.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, guys. Have a good week.
Always good to hear from Nick Kelly.
Yeah,
always good to hear from him. The guy's full of information, isn't he?
Yeah, he does a great job. And like I said, Bowen, I thought it was kind of 50-50 talking to people whether or not he'd come back or not. And I thought at times he was effective, and then at times, he was banged up, and then on the floor he wasn't. He didn't make a big impact. So I thought he actually finished the year strong, playing better, but. Again, it's one of those things where I don't think there was a guarantee that he was going to be a starter, and he probably feels like he can go somewhere else and get a better opportunity.
Let's get a break in, shall we? Wrap up hour number 2, Talking Ball, 97.7
Come
ESPN
back,
The
Mo.
Zone.
Come back, Mo. Please come back.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
March Madness is here, and it's time to hoop it up at Baumhauer's Victory Grill with their Slam Dunk Madness menu featuring a variety of delicious dunkable menu items such as buffalo chicken dip, fried chicken breast, fried cauliflower, boneless buffalo wings, Alabama hot chicken sandwich, and make it a slam dunk when you order Bob's personal recipe, the award-winning Alabama hot chicken. This MVP item features a fresh southern fried chicken breast served with smoked Gouda cheese grits. Visit Baumhauer's on the South Memorial Parkway.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com. Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Yeah, we just might feel good. I wanna push you around. Well, I will. Push you down. Well, I will. Take you for granted.
Big song, yeah, that's what we just talked about.
Oh, my goodness. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN Zone. Hour 2 is done.
Don't want to push you down.
Yeah.
Don't want to push you around.
Oh, my goodness.
As the world turns.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? All right. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. We got hour number 3. Jason Caldwell is going to join us here in the third hour. We've got him to talk about Auburn winning the NIT plus baseball. Jason Caldwell was there.
Back for him this weekend.
Yep, 2 out of 3 against Arkansas. Now they have Kentucky this weekend, but they have a tough midweek game against Jack State as Auburn. And Jack State off to an impressive start in Conference USA play. Jason Caldwell will do that. Plus, we'll talk Auburn football. Jason Caldwell on the flip side.
Tom Abraham here for Valley Equipment Rental. You know, if you're a contractor installing fences, you need Valley Equipment Rental for augers of all sizes. And if you need a forklift to get those shingles up high on a roof, Valley Equipment has 10K lifts that reach to 56 feet. Valley also has tow-behind lifts that have a working height of 35 to 55 feet as well for power washing those 2-story homes or doing whatever else you need to do. Lifts, forklifts, tow-behind lifts, 35 feet and up. They have your lift at Valley Equipment Rental. 2 locations, North and South Parkway. Valley Equipment Rental. Tom Abraham here for my longtime friend Mike Owen of Owen Home Appliance. You know, Mike has over 25 years experience in the appliance industry, and since 2017, Owen Home Appliance has served customers in the Tennessee Valley with a focus on quality products, affordable prices, and excellent customer service. Owen Home Appliance prides themselves on community involvement as well, sponsoring local teams and events while making sure that you get the right appliance at the right price. Visit their highly interactive showroom in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river on 231.
What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That you scheduled your wedding and even your child's birth around your school's game? Of course. But it means more than that. It means you're home to hundreds of Fulbright, Truman, Goldwater, and Rhodes Scholars. It means starting out as the birthplace of American public higher education, and now leading the way in unmanned spacecraft. This is the SEC. And here, it just means more. What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That there's an honest-to-goodness chandelier in your tailgate tent? Perhaps. But it means more than that. It means pioneering medical solutions to predict new flu viruses. It means leading globally diverse teams to eliminate starvation in developing countries. And it means being home to one of the nation's top cybersecurity programs. This is the SEC. And here, it just means more.
This hour of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by Hyundai Decatur, located on the Beltline.
In the market for a new or used car? Look no further than Hyundai of Decatur. With a large inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned Hyundai models, Greenway Hyundai of Decatur is here to service all of your Hyundai needs. Come visit our exceptional service department as well. With state-of-the-art facilities and a caring team of automotive professionals waiting to service your vehicle, make Hyundai of Decatur your #1 choice for all your automotive needs. Give them a call today at 256-274-0279 or visit them online at greenwayhyundaiofdecatur.com.
Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Hour 3 is upon us. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. And, oh, boy. If you only knew, you knew. Anyway, Hour 3 is upon us. Talking Ball, we've been mentioning it. And we talked off the top of the show, and we heard Andy Bertram's final call there in Indianapolis. And I'll say this, and I said it during the softball. I thought what the NCAA did, we don't give them a lot of credit for a lot of stuff because they're idiots on a lot of levels, and they've made a lot of boneheaded decisions when it comes to college athletics lately, and they just let it get out of control. But their decision to play the Division II on the men's side, the Division II, the Division III, the NIT championship, and the Final Four and the national championship all in one place has been a stroke of genius. Because it started with the Final Four on Saturday, and then there were 3 games yesterday inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The NIT Final Four started at Hinkle, and then they moved the championship game to Gainbridge Fieldhouse. And so they had the Division III, the Division II, and the NIT all in one place. The only thing I can say for this is that the NCAA or the NCAA needs to do this for women's basketball. They need to move the Division III, the Division II, and the title game all in one place, because it would just create that much more excitement around it. And for them not to do that and to exclude the Division II and Division III from all that is that's where the asinine again takes over on the NCAA. But that's just my thought there. But congratulations to the Auburn Tigers winning the NIT, becoming the first SEC team to win, I believe, the NIT in quite some time, if not ever, or the first team from the state of Alabama to win the NIT. I know that much. But the baseball takes 2 out of 3 from Arkansas at home over the weekend. They've got Kentucky. Alex Golish has met the media a couple times, giving us some updates on spring football, so plenty to talk about when it comes to the Auburn Tigers.
Yeah, of course, and his 27th year covering Auburn, and he's been with us throughout our 11 years regularly. He does a great job covering Auburn for the Auburn Undercover, part of Auburn, part of 24/7 Sports, and does a great job. For many years he did with Mark Murphy and Inside the Auburn Tigers, and that's Jason Caldwell, and he's joining us via WZZN TV and the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Jason, thank you for joining us via video. How you doing, man?
I'm good, guys. How about y'all?
We're doing well, man. First of all, great finish for Auburn, and we kind of talked about this in the first hour. That was kind of Auburn's season in a nutshell in one game. A tremendous half, which reminded me of how they beat Florida in Gainesville, just dominant. Then they don't play as well the second half. It kind of reminded you of how they played against Alabama in Tuscaloosa a little bit defensively, and then on the offensive end of the floor. But then the grit to finish, and then really I thought their MVP of the entire 5 games, Overton, just tremendous shot making and allowing them to win the NIT and finish strong in year 1 and change the narrative a little bit for Stephen Pearl.
Yeah, no, I mentioned it during the game last night. I said, look, this was the season in a nutshell. When it's good, it's pretty good. When it's bad, it's unwatchable. And it was unwatchable at times. But look, to their credit, they responded. And listen, it wasn't the NCAA tournament. But, you think about the way other teams have responded to disappointment, where they just go, "Well, we're just going home." And I think of Notre Dame football, and you go like, "Well, we're just not going to play anymore." To go out and play and go, you know what, we're going to go play. I thought it was a really important moment for Stephen Pearl's tenure at Auburn, in my opinion. And listen, there was pressure when you play South Alabama in game one at home. You lose that game, and this entire narrative is very, very different. But they won, and they kept winning. And look, they had to respond. You're right. When you blow a 21-point lead and find a way to come back and win, that shows some resolve. And so I thought it was a really good building block for the future of the program under Stephen Pearl, because now it's his program. And I had to remind people again, look, he did not take over a Final Four team.
No.
He took over a program that went to the Final Four last year, but he did not take over a Final Four team. And so that was very different about this season, in that you had one guy back. And so it was a complete rebuild, and it happened spur of the moment for him to be the head coach. And so to finish it the way they did, now you see, look, we'll see what the roster looks like next year. Who's back? Who can you add? All those things, because it's very, very different from year to year now. But I thought from a program standpoint, it was a pretty impressive way to finish.
Yeah, and you mentioned the pressure on Stephen Pearl, and for everybody but one, all but one player to say, hey, let's go play in the NIT. If there was ever questions about Stephen Pearl or whatever, had he lost the team, was there buy-in? That to me, that kind of answered a lot of questions by them actually saying, yes, to your point, we will play in the NIT.
Yeah, and I thought played harder, especially defensively, than they did for a lot of the year. Now you weren't playing Alabama, you weren't playing Florida and some teams like that. But you're playing teams that could score. But I thought defensively, there's a lot of effort there, and to do it, I mean, listen, they did it without a true big for this entire run. Jovic fouled out in regulation last night, and so you play overtime with one player. I don't know. Sebastian Williams-Adams might be over 6'7", but if he is, it's just a hair. And so,
right,
he did it with a bunch of guys that just said, "Look, we're just going to play hard," and I thought they did it. But to me, Kevin Overton, I thought the second half of this season was the best player on the team. He showed that again last night. His offensive numbers have consistently gone up, and if you're now look, can you do what Michigan did? And I'm not saying turn into a monster, but can you do what Michigan did and keep 4 or 5 guys and go out and add 4 or 5 more? Because that's how you can do this thing in this era. You can't do it with 10 guys every year. You have to have a core nucleus to build around and then go add a few pieces. And can you do that with this roster? Now that'll be the next thing we look at as the portal opens tomorrow.
Well, and it should be a valuable. Brian Cloman named the GM during this run, and he had a chance, and Stephen Pearl and this staff, to really take another longer look at this group for 5 games and determine kind of what they want to do with the roster, Jason.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look and, obviously we just talked about Kevin Overton. He's a guy that's got another year, but we talked about Sebastian Williams-Adams and Philip Jovic, Elijah Freeman. Those 4 guys, you think about the potential of keeping them. We'll see what happens with Tahad Pettiford and whether you want to keep him. If you can you afford to pay him what he wants? I mean, all those things we don't know the answer to yet. But you think about a core group of those guys, that'd be a pretty good place to start if you had just those 4. Because no matter what, you're going to have to get a point guard. You're going to have to go get another shooter. And you're going to have to go get another big, probably a true big, to go along with the big man that you've already added from France. And so you feel pretty good about the power forward position if you have Sebastian Williams-Adams and Philip Jovic there with a full year under their belt to be the 2 guys at that position. You feel pretty good about that. You feel pretty good about Freeman and Kevin Overton if you have those 2 guys. And can you add another true shooter that can play point and maybe point guard if Kahad Pettiford isn't back. If you do that, that's a pretty good building block roster. Bring back a couple of other guys from this roster that can shoot it. Obviously, one of your guys from Huntsville would be, I think, another year for him to get stronger, to get back to full speed for a full off season. You bring a guy back like that to be a guy that can play a role for a team. I think that would be a much better roster than they had this season.
Jason Caldwell joining us. Jason, you mentioned it there. We have not had a chance, I don't think, to talk about this 7-footer that they picked up from France.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Walker Kessler style more than we've seen maybe with Janai Broome the last couple of years, and even Keyshawn Murphy, because I don't think he's a guy that you're going to ask to step out and shoot threes and play on the perimeter like we saw from those two guys. But it feels more like pick and roll, Walker Kessler, protect the rim, be a guy in the paint, a presence in the paint, and so it feels a little bit more like that. But it's a big body, and he has a bigger body for a guy that a little bit older, a little bit more mature. But you think about he's played overseas, but that's probably the equivalent of those professional leagues that he's played in is probably equivalent to playing junior college basketball in our country. So he'll take some time. We saw it from Philip Jovic, the same thing. It wasn't like you brought in Dirk Nowitzki. You weren't bringing that level of professional guy in, but you're bringing a guy that's a little bit older. So I think the maturity level for him, how quickly can you get used to this type of basketball? All the things you're doing in the weight room, all that stuff will be determined. But yeah, it feels like an important piece from a rim protection standpoint for sure.
And Jason, I know you've worked closely with Brad Law. You've done radio for this Auburn baseball team. You're very close to Butch Thompson, this program. Certainly, Alabama had a rough 4-game stretch. Auburn had a rough series against Alabama, and then really the final 2 games against Texas was tough as well. But this league is so unforgiving. You just kind of have to keep your head down. They've had to make some adjustments offensively, but I thought they did a nice job of bouncing back to win the series at home against Arkansas. And now you're in the midst of an 8-game homestand. You got Kentucky coming in, but the SEC is tough as ever. But this Auburn team, are they showing signs offensively now in your mind?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you started swinging the bat a little bit better over the weekend, and you ran into probably top 2 or 3 round left-handed arms in game 2 against Arkansas. I would expect them to change their rotation a little bit and start getting some of those guys in the game earlier. I wouldn't be surprised to see them starting because they got some talented guys. But I think Auburn started swinging a little bit better. You're right. In this league, you're just going to have those days. You're going to have those moments in this league. And listen, you mentioned, Kentucky sweeps Alabama to start the season, and you go, man, look out. Well, Missouri goes to Kentucky and wins 2 over the weekend.
Yeah.
Florida, sweeps Arkansas on the road, goes home and loses 2 out of 3 to Ole Miss. Look, it's just going to happen in this league. Texas goes on the road and loses to South Carolina, who was maybe the worst team in the league. Had to fight to get out of there with a series win. It's going to be tough. You're going to have moments in this league. It's just how you respond. Look, it's the exact same trajectory that Auburn baseball had last season. The exact same trajectory. They were 4-2, went on the road and got swept at Georgia. Same thing happened this season. They won 2 out of 3. Look, last season ended with Auburn hosting a super regional and being a national seed. You got a tough schedule ahead of you. But look, this team can pitch it, and if they continue to pitch it the way they are, you don't have to score 15 runs to win games. You just got to score enough. And so I think the offense continues to come along. This will be a team that will have a chance at the end of the year once again.
And Jason Caldwell joining us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline as well as WZZN TV. And Jason, you talk about the SEC grind. It doesn't get any easier, though, even midweek. Auburn taking on Jack State, who is a heck of a team for a midweek game.
Yeah, no, the schedule has been everything you would ask for. Early in the season you played Nebraska, and I think they're 11-1 in the Big 12. So you played a series against them. You played Georgia Tech twice, who's probably the number 2 team in the country today, who's been swinging it unbelievably. Played South Alabama in the midweek, who took Coastal Carolina toe-to-toe. Yeah, now you get Jacksonville State, who I think is 12-0 in their conference, and like 29-6 or something crazy already. This it doesn't get any easier, and it'll be probably a little bit different with Auburn kind of adding Andres Alvarez to the weekend. Probably see Christian Chatterton. I would expect get to start against Jacksonville State on Tuesday night. Probably go a little bit deeper into the bullpen arm, so you'll need to score some runs in this one probably, but. The challenges on this schedule, look, it's throughout it. You're going to play really good teams. That's what Butch Thompson has wanted to do. And it'll hand you a few losses here or there. But because of that, when you stack up resumes at the end of the year, as long as you win enough, you'll be right there with anybody in the country.
Yeah, no question about it. It also, and this is something you can't control. And I know Auburn, that was one of the issues I think that bit them at the end, and one of the reasons they didn't get to Omaha a year ago for the third time under Butch Thompson. You just got to have your pitching kind of lined up and healthy by the time you get to Hoover and into the regionals. Yeah, and
look, you got to stay healthy in every area. Last year, by the time they got to the super regional, Derek Fabian was dealing with a broken hand. Didn't have Eric Guevara healthy. So you were missing some pieces there. So you start looking at it going, look, you got to stay healthy. That means you got to have depth. And, for this team, you start to get, Eddie Madrigal back after he missed, the first, month and a half or so of the season. He's been playing now for 2 weeks. So getting that bat healthy and going would be really big for this offense as well. But yeah, you got to have depth. You got to have pieces across the board in this world that you play in college baseball. And so, I'm just kind of glancing at the RPI, and, you look at it and you go, UCLA's 1, Alabama's now 2, Texas is 3, Florida State 4, Auburn will play 2, 3, and 4. Auburn will play 7, Florida 8, Ole Miss, and has already played Georgia Tech twice as number 10. So, you're going to have plenty of opportunities to work on your RPI and your net ranking by the end of this season.
Well, Jason, let's talk some spring football as well. Auburn
about halfway done.
Yeah, a week away from A-Day, as it'll come up a week from Saturday for A-Day for Auburn. Just kind of give us a spring football update.
Yeah, no, it's been good so far. When you look at I think it's maybe a setting the tone spring for Alex Golesh and his staff, and that's why it was so important to bring in players from USF that kind of have that. Byron Brown and Cole Best, 2 guys offensively that kind of help set the tone. Those are 2 of the leaders on this team already. You brought them in to be those guys. But I think, having guys back on defense that played for DJ Durkin has been important as well. When you think about, obviously, Xavier Atkins was a guy that was phenomenal last year. And I think, Thursday nights, they had their first scrimmage last Thursday night. And I think he showed the new coaching staff, the guys who had not seen him turn it loose, what he can do. And, and Alex Golesh said the other day, look, I'd much rather have a guy that I had to slow down than a guy that I have to speed up. And so they're having to slow down Xavier Atkins some, going, hey, listen, that guy's on your team. Those are good guys to have. And so I think about the young guys that are now a lot of experience on that defense. You think about Sylvester Smith and Caleb Harris, Anquan Fagans, Eric Winters, all those safeties, and think about Bryce Diaz and Elijah Melendez getting snaps last year, and all those freshman defensive linemen that are back. Those are now guys in year 2 that you expect more of. But I think offensively it's just kind of figuring it out, because you got a bunch of new pieces on the offensive line, all new wide receivers for the most part, a lot of new faces at running back and tight end, and you're doing that against a defense that pretty much hit the ground running, with the same system, and they're not backing off of that. So it's forced this offense to have to answer the bell a little bit this spring. I think it'll pay off for them down the road.
Well, and we've talked with Brian Matthews, one of your colleagues that cover Auburn, and Nathan King, your colleague and your co-worker at Auburn 247. But the one guy that we've been hearing about, we're excited because he's from just down the road where we are, and that's Cody Sigler. He's taken a long road to get to the SEC, and was at Arkansas State with Butch Jones last year. But it sounds like he's acquitted himself well so far, and is trying to fight for a prominent spot in the rotation heading into the fall.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. It's old school when you think about him, and you think about guys that I think about from maybe the late '80s. when you think about the way he plays defensive tackle. It's old school. I mean, he is strong, physical, hard-nosed, and just plays with all-out effort. And so I think he has been a tone setter. I mentioned those young defensive linemen. That guy's a tone setter for, Malik Autry, Jordan Crawford, Darion Smith, all guys that played last year as a true freshman. And so I think he has been an important player for this team to come in. But listen, I heard guys, they walked out of that scrimmage the other night. We talked to a few folks that said, look, he's just a dog. But that's what you want. You want a guy like that on the interior of your defensive line. So, yeah, he has been everything they had hoped for so far.
Yeah, and no question about it. And I will say this, just to close it out for Auburn offensively, I still say he didn't get enough credit for the year he had last year because Auburn didn't go to a bowl game, didn't have the season they wanted. But Jeremiah Cobbs had a very solid career, especially when you consider up front they weren't as good as they felt like they needed to be, even though run blocking was a more of a strength for that line. But him coming back and being a big part of this offense is, I think, and the way Golish is going to play fits him, I think.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good fit when you're talking about tempo. And that's one thing, from the first scrimmage was the rotation at running back. They're moving guys in and out. Obviously, you had Bryson Washington from Baylor, who had a productive career. You had Tay Meadows, who's, Handley. We saw him win a state championship at Handley and then go to Troy and be really productive last year. Then you have, a couple of those young guys back that we saw a glimpse of last year. Think about, I tell you what, one of the guys that has probably impressed me as much as anybody when you think about, what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish, is Alvin Henderson. It would have been easy for him to tug tail and go, I'm going somewhere else. I didn't get to play last year. I was the fourth guy, and he has worked. He has gotten bigger and stronger, great attitude. And I tell you what, having guys like that is really important in this day and age to go, look, I'm just going to keep working. And he has done it. And that's the thing I liked about last year's group. They come in, they sign with a coach. He's going after year one. Almost all those guys stayed, every one of them. They said, look, we're here. And I think that's a good spot to be in as you take this thing over for Alex Golish.
Well, good stuff. Always great. Jason, let everybody know what you got going on in the coverage. I know it's going to be another busy week on the Plains with football, spring. Got a couple of weeks left, baseball, softball, and everything. Just let everybody know.
Yeah, you're right. And you mentioned the basketball portal kicks off tomorrow on April 7th. And so that'll make for an interesting time. Nathan King will be all over that with our basketball coverage. Obviously, a lot of football things. We'll have coverage from football practice on Tuesday, some interviews, some of those things as well. So all that, and obviously baseball, another big series coming up this weekend. So got a ton of things going on in addition to a lot of football recruiting. So find us at Auburn 247 there, auburnundercover.com. Check us out all the social media platforms.
Thank you, Jason.
Thanks, Jason.
We appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, let's get a break in, shall we? Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Now is the time to sign up for the Eagle Installation WZZN Charity Golf Tournament to benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation. This year's event is the morning of April 20th at Cherokee Ridge, and each member of the winning team not only gets the championship belts, but a full year membership to Cherokee Ridge. Breakfast and lunch are provided, plus tremendous prizes and a chance to win $100,000. Cost is $800 a team or $200 per individual, and corporate sponsorships are available. Send an email to 977WZZNevents@gmail.com to reserve your spot today.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Tom Abraham here from my friend Ross Roberts and his team at Valley Equipment Rental, and they have a brand new product for you. If you happen to be standing on a concrete or tile floor, Valley Equipment has the perfect cleaning solution for you. Whether it's new construction, daily work areas, or an area that's been neglected for too long, the Valley Equipment team of experienced professionals can help you choose the right floor scrubber or sweeper for your needs. Valley even has the right cleaning products for the job. Call Valley Equipment Rental today to learn more. Make a clean sweep with Valley Equipment Rental.
Hey folks, Arthur Seed, managing partner at University Kia, letting you know we are proud supporters of Alabama and Auburn football. Swing by University Kia today and check out our huge selections of brand new Kias, including the spacious Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the slick new K5, the sporty Kia Seltos. We've got perfect cars for every lifestyle and budget. Visit universitykia.com to view all our amazing offers and get pre-approved amenities, because we want to see you in a Kia. Roll Tide, War Eagle.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
The ultimate golf experience is waiting for you at the Golfus. For a limited time, you can get an unlimited membership for only $99 a month. Hit balls on the range, play any of our 2,000 golf courses, have a graduation party, or host a corporate event. For all the details, go to thegolfus.com. We have 2 locations in Huntsville and a location soon coming to Hughes Road in Madison. That's thegolfus.com.
Welcome to Kern Electrical, where teamwork powers every project. Our champion sales team takes time to understand your needs, tailoring the perfect Generac generator for your home or business. Our project managers handle all coordination, ensuring a tackle-free installation. Our certified installation crews ensure peace of mind, even in the darkest moments. With our service and maintenance lineups, you can be assured we're with you every step of the way. Experience the home team advantage of Kern Electrical, your Generac superstore.
Most current way to keep your power on. GeneracSuperstore.com.
Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
Another one apropos.
Oh, my goodness. 256-576-4977. You can join us here this morning as we've been live from Bill Penney Toyota, sitting out here in the service department. They've been kind enough to welcome us here today on the morning of the college basketball national championship. Hard to believe that after tonight,
it's over.
We have crowned the football national champion. We've crowned the women's basketball championship, the men's baseball and softball. I mean, yes, there's soccer still left, lacrosse and all that stuff, but you know, the big three. This is it of the big three after tonight, and so I mean, it's hard to believe that it's this long, but then you look at the calendar and you're like, crap, it's April. I mean, it
flies by, man. I'm telling you what, bro.
This is the first national championship game for UConn that they will play, that they will not be the higher seed.
Right.
They beat in 24. They were the number 1 seed, and they were the number 1 seed. Yeah. But UConn has never been the lower seed in a national championship before tonight.
Even in 04?
In 04.
No, excuse me. 14.
In 14, they were 7, but Kentucky was 8.
Really?
Yeah.
I forgot Kentucky made the finals that year.
Yeah.
Kentucky was an 8 seed. That is insane. That would have tied
the Villanova mark.
That UConn team, that was the second lowest ever. And I had forgotten, though. I remember Kevin Ollie's team made sort of a Cinderella run. But, man, wow, Kentucky was an 8. I forgot all about that.
In 24, the Purdue and UConn, they were both number ones. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we have that. 23, 4 seed. They were a 4 seed. San Diego State was a 5 seed that year. In 11, they were a 3 seed. Butler was the 8th seed.
Another 8.
And then in 04, you mentioned 04.
Yeah.
They were a 2 seed. Georgia Tech, by the way, was a 3 seed that year in 04. And then in 99, Jim Calhoun gets them to the national title. And that was a 1-1. That was a number 1 UConn, number 1 Duke. But again, UConn has never been the lower seed. Tonight will be the first time that they've gotten to the national title game that they are the lower seed.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep, Trajan Langdon, he missed the turnaround runner. The only other loss for that Duke team led by Elton Brand and Trajan was Melvin Levitt and Cincinnati dunking one at the buzzer in the finals of the Great Alaska Shootout. That was the only other loss for that Duke team. I think they were 37-2. So that shows I'm a true Duke fan.
Yeah.
So.
All right. I tell you what, 9:30, let's get a break in, shall we? Phone lines are open to you the rest of the way, 256-576-4977. Give us your thoughts on tonight's national championship game. We'll also slip in some football conversation. We got other stuff to get through. Got a question to ask as well, but we've got some more right after the show, live from Bill Penney Toyota.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Your Fox 54 weather.
On Fox 54, Weather Impact meteorologist Emily Owen. Expect to see mostly sunshine for this Monday across the Tennessee Valley. High temperatures will be warming into the upper 60s for the afternoon, potentially seeing wind gusts as high as 15 miles per hour. Heading into Monday night, expect to see a partly cloudy sky. Temperatures fall into the upper 40s for the overnight.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The Orthopedic Center. It's in the name. TOC, the premier choice for all your orthopedic needs. With over 40 physicians and 20 centers of excellence, TOC is the name to trust for complete, expert orthopedic care. And that word center, we mean it. With more than a dozen locations across North Alabama and the Tennessee Valley, TOC is in your community whenever you need us. As the state's largest orthopedic practice, TOC is built on trust. Trust we've earned with every patient we serve. You can see that trust on the field, too. As the official sports medicine provider for the Huntsville Havoc, Huntsville City Football Club, Oakwood and Alabama A&M universities, thousands of athletes and coaches count on TOC to keep them in the game. From student athletes to unexpected injuries, our urgent ortho clinics offer prompt, expert care. No appointment necessary. So remember, when it comes to your health and mobility, trust the name that says it all. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
Tom Abraham here from my friend Ross Roberts and his team at Valley Equipment Rental, and they have a brand new product for you. If you happen to be standing on a concrete or tile floor, Valley Equipment has the perfect cleaning solution for you. Whether it's new construction, daily work areas, or an area that's been neglected for too long, the Valley Equipment team of experienced professionals can help you choose the right floor scrubber or sweeper for your needs. Valley even has the right cleaning products for the job. Call Valley Equipment Rental today to learn more. Make a clean sweep with Valley Equipment Rental.
Hey folks, Arthur Seed, managing partner at University Kia, letting you know we are proud supporters of Alabama and Auburn football. Swing by University Kia today and check out our huge selections of brand new Kias, including the spacious Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the slick new K5, the sporty Kia Seltos. We've got perfect cars for every lifestyle and budget. Visit universitykia.com to view all our amazing offers and get pre-approved amenities, because we want to see you in a Kia. Roll Tide, War Eagle.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Welcome back, 934 Talking Ball. Your favorite baseball coach gets his first ejection over the weekend.
Yeah, you, me, and Tony V. It was also great theater too. On my way home from Good Hope after an outstanding meal and some time with family on the blessed Easter Sunday, listening to the fact that the Tennessee Vols could actually lose an extra inning game by 10 runs to the LSU Tigers.
Oh, I did not get to see that.
And they blew it. They were ahead after 8, blew it in the 9th, lost it in extra innings, lost the series, and then just to listen to them on the fan reaction show because as you know, Tony Basilio does all 3 sports: football, basketball, baseball. They do fan reaction, and to hear them moaning and groaning and whining, is it karma for the last 5 years? That's what they kept saying. Why we can't win a close game? Why can't we? We just continue to find ways to lose. And I'm yelling at the radio, what, there's no more rolled bats and doctored baseballs? We're missing Frank Anderson. I'm like, I'm sure you are. I'm sure his stickum or whatever the heck he had him putting on the baseballs, that ain't there anymore. And then Tony V's rolled bats. So it is karma. It's called gagging. And they're 4-8 in the SEC, and it's beautiful.
Oh, 256-576-4977. You can join us.
But the one
this
bonus,
morning.
Now they got 16 teams. Some of them were calling in, are we even going to make Hoover? You all make Hoover now, fool.
That is true. The mentality, yes, you do.
But it's just like 6 through 16, those seeds, it's one and done. Like you have to win your way into a.
Well, it's a long stretch now to win that. We talked about that last year. Because it's no more. Because you still have to win a couple to get to that. It's not double elimination anymore. It's single
it's just basically it's all single elimination now. You just don't get buys.
You don't get the buys, and you don't get that.
Near the bottom of the standings, and you got to win so many games in so many days to win it.
It's brutal if you want to come all the way through.
It's still brutal on your pitching.
Yeah. The one thing that we didn't get to ask Jason Caldwell and we didn't get to ask Nick Kelly about, and it's congratulations to both, but on the women's side, the Alabama women's adapted wheelchair team, they win the national championship. And then on the men's side,
6 in a row for the women.
Auburn wins the men's adapted wheelchair national championship.
By 11.
So both of them win national championships over the weekend. That's something we didn't get to because of everything going on with both Alabama and Auburn. We did not get to talk about that, but they both do bring home national championships.
And both Alabama men's and women's have won national championships and are a powerhouse. And as we know, my good friend Brandon Pilcher is a big advocate of adaptive athletics. But congrats to Auburn and their men for beating Alabama 70-59. I think it was their first.
I think so.
And so awesome that they won that game in the finals. And that was crazy. I mean, both the men and the women on Alabama's side playing for titles, and then Auburn making it there and winning in impressive fashion. They won the semifinal by 30. So congrats to Auburn, the men, for getting a national championship. And the women are just a dynasty. I mean, that's 6 in a row for them as they won big. So it's just congrats to both programs. No question about that. So it was a good day for our state to be represented by those young people who are outstanding athletes and do an amazing job. And it was a big weekend overall. And so great stuff, no doubt about it. And now I guess, as Jason talked about when we just talked with him and Nick a little bit, certainly we're looking at spring football because Alabama's got a week, Auburn's got 2. But the transfer portal in basketball is going to be huge.
Let me ask you this, and not as far. This is not a fan perspective question. This would be I don't know if it'd be a coaching thing or not.
Right.
Would you rather take your team to the NCAA tournament and play just one game, not go on a run, not whatever? Play one game with your team in the NCAA tournament, or try to build it on. And if you have a certain type of team, and do what Auburn did and play all the way through the NIT.
Well, you still want to be in the NCAA
Yes,
tournament.
I know you want to be there.
It's the biggest showcase there is, certainly. You'd still much rather be playing either in the first 4 or in the round of 64.
Right.
I guess now Idiot's going to make it 72 or 76 or 85 or 99 or whatever the hell.
Let me see how many. Yes, let me see how many they're going to do it to.
Whatever. But I think it's still most important to make the NCAA tournament. It certainly looks better from a semantic standpoint. But, credit Auburn. They responded in the right way, like Jason said. They could have packed it in. A little mystified, a couple of the players, like Todd Pettiford and those guys, were paying homage to Keyshawn Murphy. I understand he was with you during the regular season, but he didn't play with you when it mattered in the postseason. Right. I know you won some games because of him in the regular season, but, that dude just basically removed himself from your team and wasn't with you along the journey. So I thought he quit on his team, quite frankly, and could have helped them, but maybe he helped them by not playing there. Maybe it allowed guys like Sebastian Williams-Adams to grow. Even Pettiford, who I thought had a really good first half of the championship game, not so much the second half. And it certainly allowed Overton to grow, as Jason said, really honestly, the last half of the season into the best player on the team.
To the numbers.
Yeah.
This is Ross Dellinger put this out over the weekend. Mm-hmm. They're expected to finalize in the expansion of the men's and women's tournaments to 76 teams after the completion of this year's March Madness tournament. Now, here's how it would work. The proposal would add 8 games to the first 4.
Yeah.
Okay? With 24 teams playing in an opening round before advancing into the second round.
They're just trying to make the first 4 now a freaking tournament, basically. It's just an extra tournament to give Charlie Baker more money to blow.
So you would go from 68 to 76 teams in the tournament.
Help me, Congress, help.
So then we get to hear the narrative. Well, I tell you what, they're on the bubble. They're the 77th team. I mean, what is their record going to be?
17 and 16, like Auburn.
What are you going to get?
They're going to get in the first 4.
Are you going to get a watered down first 4 now? Because those first 4 games have been good. I thought they've been competitive.
Tulsa finished 30-8. Guess they would have been in the first 24, whatever the hell you call it. Hell, I don't know.
8 games. 8 games. We're not talking 8 teams, folks. You're talking 8 games. That means you would add. It means you're adding 16 more teams to that first 4.
I guess first 24.
You're adding 8 games. Now the question is that Dayton wouldn't be able to host all those.
I don't know.
I don't think Dayton would be able to host all of those. Would you?
I don't know.
That's been the cool thing about all of that is that Dayton has hosted those first 4 games. They've become that site.
It's not 3 is a magic number, but it's 6 times 4 is 24. So Dayton will be one of the sites. They'll probably have 4 little sites, and they'll send you to the east, to the west, to the south, to the Midwest.
You could. Okay, so the Midwest could host one. The South could host one.
Dayton may lose it because they're just sending you to these other sites where all these other regionals are, and they come up with a new jingle or whatever. 6 times 4 is 24.
Well, that just means more teams make the highlight reel at the end. One shining moment.
Right.
Gonna have more teams make one shining moment.
Mediocrity.
Well, I mean, that's what it's headed for, right?
Until somebody makes a Cinderella run, So Texas won 2 games this year, almost won a third.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, I tell you what, 9:43 doesn't matter. We don't expand.
Well, wait a minute. I guess I made a mistake. I guess did Texas win 3? Because I think they actually did.
So you win the first 4. You win your second. You win.
Yeah, I believe.
Yeah,
so.
because they made it to the Sweet.
So they won 3.
Because you get to the Sweet 16, you got to win 3.
They had to win that 2 in that weekend. Yeah, because they sent Gonzaga home.
Yep.
And we know that UCLA one time went to the Final Four. VCU went to the Final Four. So 6 times 4 is 24. So that'll be. Then you'll have just gives more broadcasters a chance to work too. So there you go. More games for us to carry on Westwood 1.
All right. Well, don't forget 97.7 is your exclusive radio home for tonight's national championship game here in North Alabama.
Yeah, we're gonna have it. Man, we've had the whole tournament. We even had Auburn last night in the NIT.
Yeah. Yep. So
we've been carrying all the hoop, man.
All right, let's get our final break in. We'll wrap this Monday extravaganza up next. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The ultimate golf experience is waiting for you at the Golfus. For a limited time, you can get an unlimited membership for only $99 a month. Hit balls on the range, play any of our 2,000 golf courses, have a graduation party, or host a corporate event. For all the details, go to thegolfus.com. We have 2 locations in Huntsville and a location soon coming to Hughes Road in Madison. That's thegolfus.com.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
No Wi-Fi?
How are we going to stream the game?
Mom, I have a research project due.
How are we going to make dinner?
Don't let power outages send your family into a meltdown. Get a Generac generator from Current Electrical. We keep your lights on and your Wi-Fi on. Visit gensuperstore.com or call 256-880-1880. Trust us, your family will thank you.
Most current way to keep your power on. GeneracSuperstore.com.
Tom Abraham here from my friend Ross Roberts and his team at Valley Equipment Rental, and they have a brand new product for you. If you happen to be standing on a concrete or tile floor, Valley Equipment has the perfect cleaning solution for you. Whether it's new construction, daily work areas, or an area that's been neglected for too long, the Valley Equipment team of experienced professionals can help you choose the right floor scrubber or sweeper for your needs. Valley even has the right cleaning products for the job. Call Valley Equipment Rental today to learn more. Make a clean sweep with Valley Equipment Rental.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at dan.aldridge That is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Now, Jimmy, you better not be eating that baseball again.
But Dad, I yearn for the sweet taste of the sport. This is the best that I got.
Well, then, put down that ball and let's head over to the yard for something a little less rubber-y.
Don't eat your glove this season. Take advantage of our big zone deals and head on over to the Yard Milkshake Barn right outside of Toyota Field, where you'll find sweet treats like the Biscoff Cheesecake, Sweet Heat Mango, Shirley Temple Floats, and so many more. It's the Yard Milkshake Barn. Make this summer a home run hit.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama, located online at universitykia.com.
Mr. Sandman. Bring me a dream. Make him the cutest that I've ever seen.
Final segment here of the morning on a Monday. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, DeArmond. Just having a good time here on a Monday morning. A little breezy, a little chilly out there today.
Yeah, it was a little nippy this morning.
It's not bad. I tell you, yesterday, though, we were sitting at home. I told my wife, I said, this feels like a fall day. Kind of smelled like a fall day, and it thinks like a fall day. One of the things that we have not had a chance to talk about was the fact that over the weekend, President Trump did sign that executive order when it comes to college athletics and college sports and everything. He wants to restructure the amount of money student athletes could be paid, sets a 5-year eligibility window for NCAA athletes, restricts athletes to 1 transfer per 5-year period. It punishes schools 10. It calls on Congress to pass legislation like the SCORE Act. It threatens federal funding if schools don't comply. Coach Saban did talk about that after everything went, after everything was taken care of. Here's Coach Saban.
Really works long term without some kind of regulations. Something that allows, universities to preserve opportunities for all sports, including women's and Olympic sports, not just football and basketball. And, I want to thank the president for, showing leadership and creating a roundtable, which consisted of, college presidents, commissioners, athletic directors, coaches, to gather information as to, what might help create some regulation that would help us long-term be able to manage and fund all sports so that we can continue to create opportunities for young people.
That was the reaction to that. Much needed, though, right?
Yeah,
I mean, we've got to get college athletics going somewhere.
I don't think it has a great chance of surviving, but yeah, it's a step, no doubt, and it shows the president certainly cares about collegiate athletics in the future. I think the SCORE Act is more important from the standpoint of maybe trying to push that and get it through in some form. I think it would go a long ways toward solving some of the issues that are prevalent today. But again, I agree completely with Coach Saban's sentiment with the president creating that panel and then showing interest in it.
I'm surprised the SCORE Act has not been passed yet. I really am, because it's been sitting there for.
It has. But again, this is we're just going through steps in this thing, and hopefully it can gain some momentum, especially as, collegiate athletics continues to kind of go down this path of the NIL and the portal and the obscene amounts of money that to me just aren't sustainable in the sport. And it's what Coach Saban kind of mentioned there. You don't want to eliminate programs, that you don't want it to get to that point where if you're quote unquote not making money that you end up getting dropped. We don't want to see any of that, because that eliminates opportunities for student athletes, even like your son. Your son's on a track scholarship, and does a great job as a distance runner and things of that nature, and is fixing to graduate in June. and he's gone through quite a journey since he left Grissom High School.
But none of that would have been possible if that wasn't there. I mean, you're talking about schools.
Well, and then a good friend of mine, Jackson Reese, his father's a good friend of mine, David.
Yeah,
he in many cases thought he was going to play football, but then he ended up falling in love with distance running himself and track, and now he's a track athlete at UAH. So you never know how you're going to be impacted by this stuff. And you just don't want to see opportunities like that go away.
Well, we've talked about South Carolina women's basketball losing $6 million this past season.
Yeah.
That's what their loss is. Well, if you have a loss somewhere, you have to make it up with something. And so something has to get cut.
Yeah.
And that means if you're that much, you're not just going to go cut something here and little. You're going to cut something big, so that means you cut programs. That means you cut certain things, and you've got to do it. And unfortunately, if we have some more seasons like that, we're going to be cutting a lot more than just some little things. A lot of big things are going to get cut, and we don't want to see that. Hey, don't forget, this is Masters Week.
Yeah,
and we will be
hopefully connecting with our good friend Charlie Plott. It's been a while, but we're going to have this is a huge week for golf.
It is, and we will be live on Thursday from Cherokee Ridge.
That's right.
To kick off the opening day from Augusta on Thursday. So we'll be live from Cherokee Ridge.
So it'll be cold
to do
for
that.
the wind tunnel.
Look, I looked at the forecast ahead of time, and it says we should be okay. It's saying 49 degrees in the morning.
Good Lord, that's definitely pants then.
But 72 degrees.
Yeah, but
for the high. When we start our show, it'll be 50 degrees.
Exactly. That's exactly my point.
It'll be 50 degrees.
With wind blowing.
By the time we're done with the show, it'll be 60 degrees.
Yeah, so pants, definitely pants.
Every time we're there. But it's sunny.
I make the mistake and I don't wear pants and I freeze my ass off.
It says the low will be 49 between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m.
See?
So that means
brutality.
That means we'll be a little brisk.
Yeah, a little brisk.
A little brisk to start the morning on Thursday.
With some breeze.
But the sun will be shining, though, so, right now, no rain in the forecast all week.
That's fine.
That could change.
It usually doesn't rain, but it's usually brisk.
All right. Got to get a little recess in. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning, 7 a.m.
Appreciate Bill Penney Toyota here today.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, it's been packed here.
Yep, Bill Penney Toyota Service Department, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and then on Saturday, 7 a.m. to 5. And we'll see you, folks.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action.